would trade a third-round pick. I would trade a fourth-round pick and make it conditional, kind of similar to the trade that we saw for Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams got traded for a third-round pick that can be a second-round pick if certain conditions are met. Why can't the Chiefs do the exact same thing to go get a 28-year-old? Deontay Johnson is 25 years old. To go get one of those kind of players that you think makes a lot of sense for your organization and makes a lot of sense for your team. So that's what I would do if I'm the Chiefs. He is now my number one on the checklist. You guys know I wanted Amari Cooper. They didn't go get Amari Cooper. We now have to figure out what another solution is. Go trade for Deontay Johnson. This seems really easy. Don't overthink it. He's on Carolina. He's cost effective. You got the salary cap to take on his contract for the rest of the season, and I think he fits a need for you, not just this year, but next year as well. That's where my energy would be directed towards. Not Cooper Kupp, who is 31 years old and broken down. I'm not super interested in trading for Demarcus Robinson for the sole reason of he used to play for the Chiefs. No, go get a player that you think can win one-on-one battles on the outside. Go get a player that you think has a relatively high ceiling, and I think we know who that player is. Let's go to the phone lines and hear what you guys think about this. 913-586-7965. Josh is in the OP. Hey, Josh, how you doing, my man?
Hey, pretty good, C-Dot. I just want to kind of talk about what Rob was just talking about. So he said he wasn't really down to go grab a Chris Olave type because that's going to require, a first, maybe a third, maybe some, a little bit more change than that. But then in turn, that's going to maybe, cost us Karlaftis or Trent McDuffie in the future. I see that Rob's looking at the full picture, but I think he's not accounting for what we're in right now is it's been hammered in all of us over, the past couple of months. We have a chance to make history. No other, I'm sure you've heard it, a million times. I'm sure Rob's heard it a million times. We have a chance to do something that no one's ever done before. So you're telling me that you wouldn't want to go out and get a number one receiver. I'm not saying Olave is, a top-tier elite. I'm not saying Garrett Wilson is top-tier elite, but they're definitely going to move the needle and make our offense a lot better. They're going to get open. Pat's going to be able to, throw it to somebody that he trusts because those guys are going to be open. They're amazing route runners. They're going to catch the ball. Why would you not want that when it's going to help you do something that's right in front of you? No one's ever done before. Three-peat. You go down in the history books. You become legendary. You literally become legendary if you pull off this three-peat. Why would Rob not want to do something that's going to give us a chance this year, and we're going to be able to have him, following years? And we know Mahomes, he's elite. We're going to be competitive no matter what. If you don't get re-sign Trent McDuffie or Karlaftis, okay, that hurts. But we're going to be competitive, and we're going to be in the playoffs every year. It's just how we roll with Mahomes. So why would he not sacrifice, Karlaftis or McDuffie? I don't want to sacrifice it, but knowing that if we can get one of these receivers that's going to put us, not necessarily over the top, but give us a much better chance. I'm tired of rolling with what we have. I'm like, we'll just let Mahomes hopefully make it work. We'll just see what happens with our receivers. We've done it in the past. Let's just risk it. He can make it work. I don't want that. I don't want to risk something like that when you have a chance to do something that will go down in the history books. Pat Mahomes will have it'll be cemented. He'll be above Brady. Right now, it's still the conversation who's better. If he three-peats, no question. Boom. It's Mahomes. He has all the accolades. He's done something that no one's ever done before. Rob, I think you're making a big mistake not wanting to sacrifice something in the future when we're always going to be competitive, man. We're always going to be going for the playoffs. So who cares if you're going all in right now? That's what good GMs do. They see an opportunity. They're like, hey, screw it. Let's go. Screw the picks. F them picks. Let's go for it now. So, again, I'm on board for getting a Garrett Wilson or, somebody that's, Olave, somebody like that, even though they're going to cost a lot. We have a chance to do something right now. We got to do it. This is our chance.
I got you, Josh. I appreciate the phone call, man. I will say this. The thing I disagree with, if you're telling me in this scenario, and I know we're talking about a hypothetical here, if you were telling me that the option is Chris Olave or Trent McDuffie, I'm not making that trade. I'm also not making the trade if you were telling me that they signed Garrett Wilson long-term and they signed George Karlaftis long-term. That's not a trade that I am making. I think both of those players are better than he is. And I just think more valuable players than they are. This is what I've been saying this entire time. To me, you can improve the Chiefs without making the ultimate sacrifice.
You took the words out of my mouth.
There is a way to do both. There is a way to get Patrick Mahomes the health that I think we all agree that he needs, And there is a way to do that without trading a first and a third round pick. The Deontay Johnson answer is it is screaming. It is right there in front of us. I don't know why everybody is just not on board with going to get Deontay Johnson. He is under 30 years old. He is making less than $20 million. It's just, and you don't have to give up a first or a second round pick for him. That's a great option for the Chiefs. Someone on the text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, why were you all about going to get Amari Cooper and you're not in the same boat, at least when it comes to Cooper Kupp? Because in 2024, Amari Cooper is better than Cooper Kupp is. I mean, this season, it's not Cooper Kupp is not playing right now in the National Football League. He is not playing. Last year, Amari Cooper played in 15 games last year. Cooper Kupp played in 12 games last year. Amari Cooper in 2022 played in 17 games, and Cooper Kupp played in 9 games. So, yes, Amari Cooper has not been the ideal model of health, but over the course of the last 6 years, he has played in at least 16 games. The last time that Amari Cooper played in less than 16 games was in 2018. The last time that Cooper Kupp played less than that amount of games was in 2022. So their health to me is not the same of what kind of player that they are. If you're telling me that you think Cooper Kupp has the higher ceiling of what he can be, sure. He hasn't hit that ceiling in 3 NFL seasons. I don't know what good Cooper Kupp looks like anymore. I'm not even sure if that player exists anymore. So, yeah, if Cooper Kupp was available for a 6th round pick and you're telling me that the Rams are willing to eat a large majority of the contract, yeah, that would change my opinion on whether the Chiefs should go get Cooper Kupp or not. Yeah, sure, roll the dice in that scenario. Or if Cooper Kupp was outright released, I don't think he will be. If he was outright released and you're telling me now go pick Cooper Kupp up, get him on a veteran minimum deal, and it's a low-risk, high-reward kind of move, then sure. But that's not what Cooper Kupp is. The Rams want a 2nd-round pick for a guy who is currently hurt. Tell me how many guys right now in the league would you trade a 2nd-round pick for who are currently hurt? I don't know if you would get a 2nd-round pick for Rice right now, who is going to be out for the rest of the year. So tell me who in the league right now, a skill position player that you think is worth a 2nd-round pick who is currently hurt. Because there are not that many of those guys that exist. And if they are available, there's usually a reason why that team and that player is available and his current team is willing to eat a significant amount of money to get him off the team. There's usually a reason why.
I mean, we are 100% lockstep, which is odd because usually when it comes to trading picks for players, me and you don't see eye to eye. But on this one, we rep the same team. We're on the same smart
we're on the same page.
Because if what happened to OBJ, remember the year he signed with the Rams, and there were all those rumors the Chiefs were interested. The Browns just outright cut him. They said, screw it, we're done with OBJ. If that happened to Cooper Kupp, I'd be open to Cooper Kupp. Get him in here. But a 2nd-round pick in 2024? No. Hard pass. You know what? I don't think the Chiefs would do that either. We've talked about this. I feel like I keep saying this when it comes to wideout, and it keeps being brought up. Brett Veach is an ageist when it comes to adding players. If you have a 3 in front of your name, he's not giving up premium assets or premium money for you. I'm sorry. Unless your name is Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, or Chris Jones, who are all in-house options. So a 2nd-round pick? A 2nd-round pick for 30-plus-year-old Cooper Kupp, who might be walking around the facility right now in a walker. We don't even know what his health is a hard pass. And we haven't even gotten to the point yet where in Diana Rossini's cut, you know what she says? Even if the Rams ate a lot of the salary, I don't know the Chiefs could afford it. So, yeah.
I don't, that part to me, I'm not buying that. I hear what you're saying.
To an extent, I mean, how many players renegotiate midseason? It is pretty rare.
I mean, you can always do something with Patrick Mahomes' contract. Like, to me, the salary, and she also said they couldn't get Amari Cooper because of his contract. Amari Cooper was making. Yeah. So I'm just saying is, if the Chiefs there is no wide receiver that is within reason, right? There's no wide receiver within reason that they could not figure out something to do between now and the end of the season and then you take a breath, you reset, and then you kind of figure out the money situation from them. Now, there's a large group of receivers that you wouldn't have to do all that mental gymnastics for. You wouldn't have had to do that for Amari Cooper. You made the decision to pass on him. You probably also don't need to do that to go acquire Deontay Johnson. You wouldn't have to do that to go get Darius Slayton. You wouldn't have to do that to go get Demarcus Robinson. There are guys that could improve the depth that they have at wide receiver, and you also don't need to give up a whole lot to do it. I'm not here advocating they trade their first-round pick or their second-round pick to acquire any of these guys. I would just use my first and second-round pick next year and go get a guy who can turn into Chris Olave. They're making them every year in the draft. It is not like Chris Olave is some super special player that is not available in every single NFL draft. He is. I promise you he is available. Go find Chris Olave. They've never tried to draft Chris Olave. They had a chance last year. They got a 5'10", 160-pound speed wide receiver. Go find Chris Olave. I assure you he is in this draft class.
First off, king of the Jameson Williams fan club cannot make fun of Xavier Worthy's height, weight, and speed. I just want to get that on.
Balling. I just want to go ahead and point that out right now. Jameson Williams is, you know who would really help this team right now? Jameson Williams would be really good on this.
To be fair, Jameson Williams just got popped for PEDs. So there's a reason why he's balling.
There's always something with him. He's always in the middle of something. I don't know if it's parlays or PEDs. It's usually something with him.
But circling back to the caller's point about chasing history, me and the callers aren't going to see eye to eye on hemorrhaging the future for the now, and that's fine. But he said great GMs in the NFL say screw them picks and go all in. Do you want to know some GMs that have done that? The Rams did it. How do the Rams feel right now about their situation? They said screw them picks. We're all in. We're paying Matt Stafford. We're paying Cooper Kupp. We're paying Aaron Donald. You get paid. You get paid. You get paid. They're one of the worst teams in the league right now. The New Orleans Saints have historically said, screw them picks, we all in. They might have the worst cap situation in the NFL. So me and the caller are just going to not see eye to eye on hemorrhaging the future for the now, and that's fine. I am still team add a wideout. I'm just not team give up a first and a second to get a guy because guess what? In the future, they still play football games. And the caller, Josh, if you're all in on the now, that's cool. You can't complain about the Chiefs in 2 years if they're just mid. If they are what Brady's middle years were in New England. Hey, some 10-6 years. You can't complain about that if you're all in. I don't want middle 10-6 years. I want greatness every year. So I'm not hemorrhaging the future for the now. That's just, we don't see eye to eye on that.
And I know we're having fun with hypothetical trades and whatnot. I don't know if there is a wide receiver that will be traded between now and then. I don't think there is a wide receiver that will be traded that will go more for what Amari Cooper and Devontae Adams got. Like, I would just be really surprised if in the middle of the season there's a wide receiver that gets traded for a first-round pick. I don't think that Chris Olave is being traded. I also don't think that Garrett Wilson is being traded.
By the way, some not breaking news on alert. Cornell Powell is up from the practice squad. So do they need to add anyone anymore?
They need bodies. No, they need bodies.
That's a former draft pick. Success story.
Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, I understand you guys need talking points, but it's very evident that the current administration is happy with what they have. I do not believe that. If I didn't think the Chiefs weren't trading for a wide receiver, we just would not be talking about it. I think the Chiefs are making a move. They just don't have a lot of pieces left in the room. Like, we don't have to go through the depth chart again, but they just don't have a lot of options. And there's still 2 weeks until the deadline. Now, when we get past the deadline and they don't make a move, I'm willing to come on here and say, man, I was wrong. And they are happy with what they have. I believe the Chiefs are making a move at some point in the next 2 weeks. Too many people who are connected in the National Football League are talking about it for me to think that the Chiefs have not been phoning around making phone calls. And I will continue to believe they have those 2 third-round picks. I do not believe they are going to have both of them past the election. One of those third-round picks is getting traded. Or maybe they keep both of them and they give up a 5th-round pick, or it's a conditional pick. I firmly believe that the Chiefs are making a trade for a wide receiver. They just don't have a lot of bodies. And if you're telling me that they're happy with what they have right now, number one, when is Juju coming back? Because he once again is dealing with the hamstring injury. That has been a hamstring injury that he has been dealing with for the last 4 years in the National Football League. I'm not sure if Hollywood Brown is coming back. We know that Rashee Rice is coming back, and this is the wide receiver unit that you're expecting to hold up It is Halloween, and you're expecting that thing to hold up almost until Valentine's Day? I just don't know how you can feel confident given the fact that it feels like every single week they have a new wide receiver injury that pops up. They need to make a trade just to get the numbers and get through the attrition of just a long, grueling NFL season. They have one stretch later in the year where they play 3 games in 10 days. They don't have the wide receiver unit to get through all of these games that they have between now and the end of the season. Patrick Mahomes coming up in 30 minutes. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is an exciting time in the sports calendar. Enjoy all the NFL action with the chance to win on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. New customers can bet $5 and you'll get $300 back in bonus bets if you win a bet on this week's game. Some of my favorite features in the app. You can create your own same-game parlay. I love to do the player props, over-under. You also can bet on who you think is going to get into the end zone. I also like to take a bet on who you think's going to get a catch in the first drive. I like to do this in primetime games. It just really locks you in for the first part of the game. You can place this bet and more. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/CDOT. Use my promo code to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expires 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
We interrupt with a special report from the Missouri Lottery. With a new millionaire every 8.1 days last year, there's no shortage of Missouri Lottery winners. However, there is currently a shortage of confetti. This may impact all confetti-related activities, hullabaloos, whoop-de-doos, jamborees, shebangs, and any and all festive goings-ons. Rest assured, Missouri Lottery winners will receive a single confetto with every big win for the time being. We apologize for the shortage, but not the winning. Thus concludes this report from the Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome. Play responsibly.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Hi, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being part of a team. A group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metalworkers, local #2, are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? You need Jay's Southland Tow Service. They have over 20 years of experience servicing the KC Metro. They specialize in light, medium, and heavy duty, as well as commercial transport and construction equipment. Keep this number handy, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments, Jay's Southland Tow Service. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow.
Pizza just goes better with Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Pizza. Thank you.
But don't take our word for it. In fact, don't take any words for it. Crispy and cheesy, paired with delicious and refreshing. My mouth is watering already. Ooh, too high. Yeah, we've all been there. Every bite is better with Pepsi.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This afternoon, expect a sunny day with a high of 84.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
Welcome to your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan. Coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll be joined by Patrick Mahomes. I got a chance to catch up with him earlier in the day. I don't know why we're doing this thing all over again. Now, I watch Monday Night Football. I imagine that many of you also watched Monday Night Football yesterday, the real one, not the fake one that was on ESPN+. I didn't watch too much of that. But we're doing this thing all over again with the Ravens. You know what we're doing. Here's Mike Greenberg.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you guys. All that making fun of me you did when I said he's the MVP of the league. And oh, no, everyone yelled at me. He's not even the MVP on his own team. Derrick Henry is the difference. You watch that team with him, they are markedly different. Lamar is brilliant. He's been brilliant a long time. This team is markedly different because of that
You remember? Hold on. You remember?
So Lamar's not the MVP of his team just because he's been good for a long time? He threw 5 touchdown passes.
Henry
I want to focus on.
In the same way that Randy Moss was the difference when he came to New England, Tom Brady was already a great quarterback.
Yeah.
But that elevated everything, basically to the point of being unstoppable.
Yes.
And that's what this guy has done. If this guy is healthy, nobody beats the Ravens.
I understand picking the Ravens. I do. I know you guys might be mad at me for saying this, but everybody doesn't have to think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Like, you're allowed to pick another team to win the Super Bowl. That's part of sports. Rob and I might not both think the Celtics are winning the championship again, or, you know, that Georgia's going to win the national championship in football. You're allowed to make different picks, but did he say that if Derrick Henry is healthy, there's nobody beating the Ravens? That they've lost this season. What is he talking about?
When healthy, mind you.
Are they undefeated? Am I missing something? I know for a fact I've seen them lose this season. They've lost twice when he's healthy. One of those games they lost to the Raiders at home. They lost to the Raiders. You're telling me you can't see a scenario in which Baltimore loses to any other team in the NFL? They're just, why are we doing this to the Ravens? We do this every single year. I like the Ravens. I really do. The Ravens have been really impressive. They were impressive last night. I mean, this has been a great stretch for the Ravens. They went on the road and beat the Cowboys. They beat Buffalo. I mean, they pounded Buffalo earlier this year. They beat everybody's new favorite, the Washington Commanders, certainly a favorite on this show. And they went on the road and beat Tampa Bay. The Ravens are playing well. If you want to say they're the biggest contender to the Chiefs, sure, have at it. If you want to say that this is Lamar Jackson's year and he's finally going to break through, sure, that's a fine take to have. Why do we always got to take it one step too far? You got that friend that just always takes the joke a little more like, bro, we all was kind of laughing and joking. You took it to a creepy place they didn't have to go to. You didn't have to take the joke that far. You didn't have to make it where the needle skipped when you made the joke. No one's beating the Ravens with a healthy Derek. They lost 26-23 to the Raiders earlier this year. They lost to the Chiefs. What are we talking about? I just don't know why we got to do this same thing. I don't know why we have to do this every single year. I don't know why we have to do this with the Ravens. They're a fun team. They're a talented team. I look outside. There's still leaves on the trees. I don't want to hear you talk to me about any of these other teams as long as I see green foliage outside. Don't talk to me about Buffalo if I can see leaves outside. Don't talk to me about Baltimore when I can see foliage. Please stop discussing these teams with me because we've been at this place before. Maybe this is just fatigue. We did this in the Big 12 for the longest time. We did this in the Big 12. I hate to say it, but you guys remember when KU was winning the league, back when they were the only basketball school in the league. Now they've added other basketball schools, and shockingly, KU can't win the league anymore. But back when they were the only one and they were beating up on Iowa State and Baylor and all these other Rudy Poo teams, we would try to find other teams to make the season more enjoyable.
Wasn't your team one of those teams?
A Rudy Poo team. My point exactly. A Rudy Poo team. Now you got Arizona and you got all these other teams in the league, and they not winning the league anymore. That's not a shock to me. They got Arizona and Houston, and them boys is losing home and away now. I'm not surprised. Been telling you guys that for 30 years that the Big 12 was weak. That's what we're doing now in the AFC. It's weak. Stop talking to me about these other teams. I don't want to hear it anymore. And I hate to have this stance toward the Ravens because I like the Ravens. They're fun. They're a good team. You can't see a scenario in which they lose. They just lost a month ago. That's all I got on the Ravens. I don't have anything else.
I don't understand why we do this. Like, it's fine to come on, get up the next day, Mike Greenberg, and say, Lamar Jackson looked awesome. He's probably now the favorite for MVP. That's his third. That would be his third, excuse me. That's really impressive. They've had a lot of impressive wins this year.
I don't even care who wins MVP anymore. I don't even care.
You don't care at all?
I don't care who wins MVP anymore. I don't. What does it matter?
It matters significantly.
It doesn't. You know what it is? You know you love a good NBA comparison. This is you giving the MVP award to Derrick Rose. Great, cool, that's fun. I saw them lose to the Cavs that year in the NBA playoffs. This is giving the award to Karl Malone. Great, cool. I saw Jordan crush his dreams in Salt Lake City. I don't care. Give Lamar Jackson 8 of these MVP awards. Give Josh Allen his first. Give it to CJ Stroud. Who cares who wins these individual awards anymore? They give out the ultimate award, Super Bowl MVP. They hand it out in February. I know Lamar Jackson wouldn't know anything about it because you have to make the Super Bowl to qualify for it. So talk to me about these teams in January. We literally went from 4 months ago where Lamar is questionable in the postseason. Now, the Ravens, if they got everybody healthy, they're unbeatable in the postseason, even though we've seen Lamar Jackson when it gets cold outside, he completes 42% of his passes. I don't care. Give it to whoever you want to give it to. Give it to Jared Goff. Give it to Lamar. Give it to CJ Stroud. Give it to any of those individuals. We can resume this conversation in January when the real stakes are on the line. Don't talk to me about how you played on a sunshiny day against the Washington Commanders on October 5th. No one cares. Talk to me about how you play in January after Santa has packed up for the winter. That's when we can determine who the best teams are in the National Football League. Until then, I don't want to hear a peep from any of these other teams. I don't even want to hear you suggest any of these other teams. It's blasphemous to Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and it's blasphemous to this great city. Coming up in 20 minutes, we'll talk to Patrick Mahomes. Coming up at the top of the hour, I do want to talk about Tua for just a little bit because there is one part of this conversation that no one just wants to out loud say. I'll attempt to say it. Keep it right here, Sadrive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, as the official whiskey sponsor of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig, an absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly.
We hear a lot from our patients after we've successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other, and for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking about good sex with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might find you're performing like you haven't in years. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases. And we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you can get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Tune in this week to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti, where they break down all the headlines in the NFL. Presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on the iPhone 16 Pro.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Protect yourself. Get the updated COVID-19 vaccine and your flu shot at the same time at Hy-Vee. That's right, you can save time and get your COVID-19 and flu shot at the same time. Schedule your updated COVID-19 vaccine and flu shot online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy whenever it's convenient for you. No appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you and your family stay healthy. Some restrictions apply.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by award-winning Johnny's Barbecue in Olathe.
Football and barbecue fans, score big with Johnny's Barbecue tailgate packages. Whether you're hosting a home gate or a tailgate, Johnny's Barbecue has you covered. Check out our tailgate packages at johnny'sbbqkc.com. Located in Olathe and serving all of KC. Johnny's Barbecue. Taste the smoke.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Chiefs football. KFMZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
We got Patrick Mahomes coming up in 15 minutes. Very happy to catch up with the reigning Super Bowl MVP. I don't want to spend too much time on this conversation, but I haven't heard too many people just say a very obvious point about Tua. So Tua had a press conference, I believe it was yesterday, and Tua's coming back to play football this year. Tua was asked if he was going to wear the Guardian cap. Now, the study and science on the Guardian cap is a little hazy at this point. I do think we need more time, more information to kind of see if it works or if it doesn't work. And Tua said that he does not plan on wearing the cap, and he was asked why, and he said that it is a personal decision. This is the part about Tua that I wish more of us were just kind of fair on when it comes to his health. I can't imagine growing up in a football family the way that he has. I mean, his brother is in the NFL, and his other brother played at a high D1 level. Like, he comes from a football family, and you got a chance to make it as the 1% of the 1%, and not just make it to the NFL. You are actually kind of good at playing football. Good enough to where one organization gave you a whole lot of money to keep playing quarterback for them. I can't imagine getting to that point and just the competitor in you then want to walk away, especially if, and I think we would all have to assume this, the doctors are telling you that you are okay and it is safe for you to continue playing football. Like, this is one of those things I'm happy to just say, man, I don't know. If Tua feels happy enough and healthy enough, and I'm sure that he has consulted with his family, and they have talked about the serious short-term and long-term risk of everything that he is doing, and he feels fine to go out there and roll the dice. I don't know who we are to tell him that he shouldn't. I mean, it's not just that football is unsafe for Tua. Football is unsafe for all the players that we watch. It's not just unsafe for this one individual. It's unsafe for Patrick Mahomes to be doing it too. It's unsafe for Chris Jones and all of these other individuals that go out there and play on Saturdays and Sundays and Monday Night Football to entertain us. Football, we know, is really, really bad for your body and has short-term and long-term effects. Man, if Tua feels like he can go out there and continue to play at the level that he feels comfortable with and protect himself and play at the level that he feels comfortable with, I'm inclined to let him keep going out there and keep playing. I can't tell Tua how to live his life. I really can't. I'm not here to stand on some soapbox about it, but I just have heard so many people trying to tell Tua what they would do if they were in his shoes, when I think this is one of the hardest decisions that you will ever have to make. This is what you love to do. And I get it. You have made so much money that you can walk away from this and you can remove all the risk. There is no substituting what he does for a living. There's nothing that will give you that feeling. My job, being in the media, will not give you that feeling. Doing any of those things, I cannot imagine being at that level and then everybody telling you, hey, man, you shouldn't do this anymore, when you are getting the best medical care and the best medical treatment available, and they keep telling you you're safe enough to continue to do what you love to do. So I think I speak for everybody. Man, I just want Tua to be okay. Because watching those last couple injuries that he's had, and one of the really unfortunate things about this is all of his injuries, Rob, seem to happen when we all are watching. He doesn't seem to get hurt on like a Sunday game on Red Zone. He gets hurt on Thursday Night Football or Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football when we all are watching it and seeing it in real time and discussing those things. I just want Tua to be happy. I want Tua to be safe. I want Tua to be healthy. And, man, if Tua still has the heart and fire to keep playing football, I want him to keep playing football at the absolute highest level.
I understand that, and I respect that, and you're right. If he and the Dolphins and everyone think, hey, it's safe to go back and you can do this as well as you were before, I'm not going to, who am I to tell him no? Where I think the average NFL fan falls, or maybe just fans in general, is you at a certain point feel like you have to protect him from himself. Like, he loves football. He grew up in a football family, but I've seen these terrible injuries, and they are clearly having a toll. Whether he knows it or not, there is a toll. And it feels like at a certain point you got to tell him, hey, you're making the wrong decision, and I know it's difficult for you because of how you grew up and all those things, but you can't keep doing this anymore. Because at a certain point, if he keeps having scary injuries, it becomes a real fear for everyone who watches the league.
That makes a lot of sense, but just in your own life, Rob, isn't this a conversation for you and Caroline to be having?
Absolutely.
And this isn't a conversation that, I love Scott Parks. Like, Scott Parks can't tell you how you and your family should work in this scenario. Like, this is a decision that you and the people that you are really close to. If you are related to Tua, you have to have been having these conversations. I don't know if he's married. I don't know if he has a kid. I don't know Tua's personal life, but you connected to somebody, your mom, your brother, your girlfriend, your kids, your little ones, whoever it is. Like, this has happened so many times over the course of the year. You had to have had those real hardcore conversations with your people about what you are doing. And if you feel comfortable enough to go out there and continue to risk it, so to speak, I don't know how I can tell you how to live otherwise. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, okay, but what does wearing the cap hurt? I understand not wanting to wear the cap if you don't feel comfortable wearing the cap. We all have this certain thing at our job. Like, I tried to do this show sitting in that other chair. It just feels weird. For whatever reason, I cannot explain it, but I like where I sit. And it feels comfortable. The other chair it is the exact same chair, the exact same microphone. It just feels funny. I cannot explain it, and I understand that this is a very, very different thing. So please do not make it seem like I'm trying to compare it. If you have never worn that thing and you don't feel comfortable wearing it, I understand how you just make the determination, man, I can't be myself and play football if I don't feel 100% comfortable. And I get it. I understand the decision that Tua is making, and I just want Tua to be healthy. Watching him get hurt like that, it's been really scary over the couple times that this has happened, and I don't want to see him get hurt again. So
I would say this real quick, and we can end the conversation up against the break. You and I feel the same way. We don't want to see him hurt again. We just want him healthy. Do you know what the easiest way to keep him healthy is? Not that things can't happen in his personal life, but not signing up for a sport where the former players tell me that Monday and Tuesday it feels like you've been in a car crash. Like, I'm talking the non-concussed, the non-super injured. I'm not talking about the Rashee Rices of the world who have major injuries. I'm talking about if you talk to Joe Player, if you were walking on the plaza and Joe Tooney was walking around on a Tuesday, be like, hey, Joe, how do you feel? He would tell you, I feel like I went through a car crash 2 days ago. Do you know what the easiest way to be like, hey, I want you safe, happy, and healthy for Tua is? Don't sign up for an activity that makes you feel that way 2 days later.
Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, if injuries like this keep happening, they will go to flag football. No, at this point, I know it sounds bad. This is what the players have signed up for. All of the information is out there about playing football. We know at this point. You can maybe say that 20, 25 years ago, we didn't know and that the NFL hid this information from us. And I believe that. I believe that they knew about CTE way sooner than we knew about it. And I believe that they hid the information and didn't fully give the players all the information. I don't believe you can use that as an excuse in 2024. And it sounds bad at times, but this is the trade that you are willing to make. Like, you are willing to put your body through this ultimate punishment for the pot of gold at the end of it. And the pot of gold at the end of it is some of you are going to get really, really rich doing this. If this isn't a risk you want to take, that is perfectly fine. There will be another human being that will be willing to fill your spot if you want to retire. Andrew Luck decided I don't want to do this anymore. We kept on moving right along. I'm sorry. That's life at this point. You know it's dangerous to play football, and you have signed up for the risk reward of it. The reward is You can travel around the world. You can be incredibly famous doing this. You can be incredibly rich doing this. You can sleep with as many women. There is absolutely positive rewards to it. The risk is, hey, this can be really bad for you by the time you turn 40 years old. It can be really, really bad for you physically. And you and I are in a position, Rob, where we know former NFL players. You know what I mean? Like, we know former NFL players and have seen them and had these conversations. Some of them are not physically fine from playing football, but we know enough of them, too, that if you ask him, would they do it again? A majority of them say, yeah, I would, because you knew the risk when you signed up for it, and you continue to play football. So at least with Tua at this point, and again, I'm not here to sound callous about Tua. Tua knows all the risk that you are incurring every time you step out on that football field, and he just continues to want to play football. Godspeed, my brother. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
'Tis the season of giving from the Kansas Lottery. So instead of one gift, give 2 or 3. With holiday instant tickets from $1 to $20, don't sweat last-minute gifts because you will have plenty. Forget about Santa and his super fast sleigh when the folks on your list can win up to $100K. Give Kansas Lottery holiday instant tickets this season. They're festive as heck and the winnings are pleasing. See kslottery.com for all the details. Sorry, this holiday story has gone off the rails.
When it comes to financial goals, everyone has that one thing you want to accomplish. Raise your credit score, give your kitchen a well-deserved glow-up, or eliminate credit card debt. At Main Street Credit Union, your main thing, well, that's our thing. It's what we're passionate about, helping you achieve your main thing. So bring us your wants, your needs, and your goals. We'll provide you with the tools to achieve them. Go to mainstreetcu.org for more information.
Here we are, smack dab in the political season. A time to take pause and scrutinize the integrity of the spoken word. Well, here's a Lennox offer that needs no scrutiny at all. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing now offers up to $1,200 in rebates on qualifying Lennox home comfort systems and up to 60 months 0% financing with approved credit. That's up to $1,200 back and 0% interest just to make life easier. Airman here to remind you that Midwest was founded in 1962 on a simple premise. Customers actually appreciate being treated with respect. Imagine that. Today, 3 generations later, the same family still owns and operates Midwest, knowing that fads come and go, but integrity never goes out of style. If you are considering a new Lennox system or need service, go to MidwestHeating.com or dial 943-8787. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
This is one of my favorite times of the sports calendar where we have so many great sports all going at the same time. This NBA season, you can make every pass, every play, every point mean more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. Check out newer bets like number of dunks, assists, or three-pointers in the next 3 minutes. It doesn't matter if you tap into FanDuel before the game or after the game is already tipped off. You can always place a wager on the NBA. What I like to do is I like to do points, rebounds, and assists. Let's say you think LeBron is going to have a good day. Bet big for a big payoff. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/CDOT. Use my promo code for your chance to score $300 in bonus bets. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets, but expires 7 days after free. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Can help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and for those of you who've been listening to the show for a while, you know all about our friends over at Centric and how you can find a brand new career in as little as 4 months. But Did you also know that you can work with your current schedule with some of their flex options for learning online or in person?
Maybe you're just getting out of high school and want to start that career now and that career path now, or you're looking for that change with better advancement, better pay. Centric can do those things for you.
They have plenty of funding options like the GI Bill. You just got to go talk to our friend Russ at Centric.com. That's CENTRIQ.com.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
This report is brought to you by Flying H Drag Strip. Drag racing is back in Kansas City. FlyingHDragStrip.com. Kansas City Drag Racing is back. Join us for Hooktober at Flying H Drag Strip, October 25th and 26th, featuring pro mod cars, top dragsters, and quarter-mile drag racing. Plus, Night of Heroes, free entry for veterans with military ID. Get tickets now at FlyingHDragStrip.com. A real horsepower hangout.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Couple stalled cars northbound 435 just past Stadium Drive. That is where we have a lane closure. So traffic backing up on the northbound lanes of 435 into the 70 Exchange. Southern lanes of the downtown loop also showing brake lights, as is northbound 71 into downtown. I'm Lori Pearson for 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. He's taken your Chiefs to the mountaintop 3 different times.
Mahomes moving to his left laterally, chased, holding it, and gets out of bounds and up the sideline. He's not out of bounds yet. He's at the 10, inside the 10, he dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City!
And he sits down with one show across the entire country for an exclusive one-on-one interview. Your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Here's Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes on The Drive.
Earlier today, I got the opportunity to have a conversation with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. I usually start with something kind of light, with Patrick. I kind of throw him a softball or two at the very beginning, and I work my way into it. I didn't really feel like there was a reason to do this. You guys remember what happened in the offseason, the little puppet video that was going around from Raiders training camp. I just wanted to get it out of the way. When was the first time that he saw that video?
I think I just saw it after I finished practice or something in training camp. It was one of those training camp long days, and it came across my timeline on Twitter. But that was the first time I saw it.
I'm going to guess that you get a lot of texts on a day-to-day basis. Is this one of the days where you just got the highest volume of number of texts of people sending this to you?
Not necessarily, honestly. Not a lot of people send it to me. I think everybody knows how I am, and they didn't want to bring that to my attention. They wanted me to focus on what I needed to focus on that day.
What do you do with this information? Are you just keeping this in the back of your mind for when you play this team again? Is it just water that rolls off your back? Like, what do you do when there is this level of disrespect from a team that you eventually have to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, like, if you're not excited to play this game this week, especially how they beat us last time, then you're not in the right sport. So it's not like it takes it over the top or does anything like that. I think I'm just focused on playing a team that really got after us the last time we played them.
How crazy is it that was your last loss and that was on Christmas, and we are coming up on Halloween and you guys have not lost a game since?
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to the guys on our team. I mean, obviously that was a tough day on Christmas, but guys bounced back. We were able to go on a run and win the Super Bowl, and the guys have carried that momentum into this season.
What do you think clicked for this team at that point? I mean, you guys were 500 the last 8 weeks of the season, and something changed within your team that has obviously led you to have the current longest winning streak in the National Football League. Did you notice a change, a difference with your team after that loss?
I think it's just more than anything. I think guys just knew that our backs were up against the wall, and we had to win at that point of last year. And so guys stepped up and played well, and especially on our defense, they took it up to even another notch than they were already playing. And I think that it showed that guys that we were just going to find ways to get wins, and we carry that into this year, where it's not always been pretty as the games could be, but we're finding ways to win every single football game, and I think that's important as you go along a long season.
Right now, we're talking to the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick, what does it say about your team that you are winning in the face of all of these injuries? I don't need to tell you, but you guys don't have Isaiah Pacheco. You don't have Rashee Rice. You don't have Hollywood Brown. Juju goes out with an injury. Jalen Watson's a key piece of your defense, and you guys still are the lone undefeated team in the league.
Yeah, it just speaks to the way the guys compete. I mean, obviously, that's losing a lot of guys that are impact players on our team, but the guys that are behind them are preparing themselves and being ready to go when their numbers are called. And the hope is that we continue to get a little bit more healthy. But as we've dealt with these injuries, it's gotten a lot of experience for younger guys, and they've stepped up whenever their numbers is called and made plays.
In that same vein, what does it say about your team that you guys have gone against the Brock Purdy version of the San Francisco 49ers 3 separate times, and they've been 3 different games? You guys won 44-23 there a couple of years ago. Obviously, you guys put those 2 drives together to win in the Super Bowl, and the win that you guys had on Sunday. You guys have shown a versatility against San Francisco that if it has to be a ground and pound game where you guys run it 40 times, you can, or if you guys need to score almost 50, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to the team. I mean, it speaks to the coaches, Coach Reed, and doing whatever it takes to win. I think in order to be a championship caliber team, you have to play different types of football games, and you have to win different ways based on that week's matchup. And this last week, it was about controlling the ball, letting our defense go work, and then trying to execute in the red zone. We were able to do that.
Right now, we're talking to Patrick Mahomes here for a couple more minutes. Patrick, I'll start broad and we'll narrow it in. Take us through your touchdown run, because it kind of felt like you called your own number, or it was a design kind of quarterback draw play.
Not necessarily a quarterback draw. They gave us the man coverage. The plan was to get the ball to Trav, and then with Xavier coming across the field. And obviously, Trav was getting held pretty tough there. And when I motioned the guy out, I saw the middle of the field was kind of open. So I knew if the guys weren't there, I could make a quick decision if it opened up to run in the end zone. And obviously, with Trav getting held and it opened it up, I just made the decision to get in the end zone, and I was able to do that.
I don't know if you've seen the meme or not. I don't know if it's a meme or per se, but it's like you with your shirt off and then the guy that tried to tackle you with his shirt off. The internet gives you a lot of grief about the dad bod, but all of that weight came in handy for that moment.
Yeah, no doubt, because, I mean, I wasn't necessarily trying to run over the guy. I was just trying to get in the end zone, and he was coming up fast, and I'd seen how he hit some other guys early in the game. So I was more bracing to take the hit as I got in the end zone, but the dad bod helped me out there. Like I said after the game, I have a little weight. And I was able to hold my ground and get in the end zone.
Today is the start of the NBA season. I don't know if you've ever dunked on somebody before. I'm just guessing that you have. I'm guessing like that's the closest NFL feeling that you will ever have to like dunking on somebody.
Yeah, I dunked on someone one time and I got called for a charge. So it definitely was a cool feeling. I think more than anything, it's just 4th and goal. Big moment in the game. I mean, it's still a 2-point game at that moment, and they able to get that touchdown and then get the momentum back in our favor. So it was definitely a big moment that we've seen that we've made those plays as this year's went on, and we're going to try to continue to do that.
Patrick, you got to tell us a story about you dunked on somebody. I'm guessing this was in high school at some point.
Yeah, no, it was I was a senior in high school, and I caught a fast break, and I lifted up, and I remember lifting up thinking I was going to get fouled, and the guy went for a charge instead of for a block, and it kind of boosted me up a little bit. I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere, and I was able to get the dunk, but they did call a charge, even though I think the guy was still moving.
All right, I got to find this video. I've never seen this before. We're talking to Patrick Mahomes for a couple of minutes. I do want to get your opinion on this because we talk about, some of the cool things that you've been able to do in your career. How is it going from a kid who watched Tom Brady play in Super Bowls to you have played in a Super Bowl against Tom Brady, and now you were sitting across from him being interviewed, and you guys are having a conversation about your life and career?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's extremely cool. I mean, like you said, I watched him growing up and him winning tons of Super Bowls and winning MVPs and all these different things, and then playing against him and having a ton of respect for him. And then after as the end of his career kind of came to, and to this next stage of his career, we kind of stayed in touch and talked, and it was really cool to sit down and do an interview because even when we talk and I listen to him talk about things, and I mean, not all of it's in the interview. He says stuff that I can't really talk to other people about, and I can tell he understands exactly where I'm coming from, and some little things and nuances of the quarterback position. And there's only a couple guys on that walk around on this earth that understand some of the things that he's talking about, and that I try to explain to people, and it's good to kind of get that insight from guys like that.
I was just going to ask you that because obviously there's competition there. You guys have competed against one another, but what is it like to have someone like that who has that level of admiration for you as well?
Yeah, I think it speaks to the way I play the game of football. It's not about the stats, not about the accolades. It's about going out there and winning, and that's how he played. I mean, obviously he's got every stat, and he's got every MVP and all that different type of stuff. But for him, at the end of the day, it was about how he could get his team in position to win. And so I think there's mutual respect. Obviously, there's respect for me there, but I think he has respect for me just because I play that game that way. And like you said, it's always competition, and it's something that I can chase in my career. But I have a ton of respect regardless because the way he played the game every single day and the way he was the teammate that he was and the player that he was.
There's a couple of players on your offense I want to ask you about. Let's start with McCole Hardman. What is it about San Francisco that turns McCole Hardman into some super Saiyan individual? I mean, the last 3 times that you guys have played San Francisco, he had 2 touchdowns a couple of years ago. He catches the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, and he had a big punt return and a touchdown in this one. He always plays well against them.
Yeah, I mean, he just steps up, man. It's about playing the best, and whenever you play the best, guys have to step up and play their best, and McCole's done that in all those matchups, and he's executing whenever his number's called. He's finding ways to get down the field on jet sweeps, or he's blocking, or doing whatever it takes to win, and that's what you want, guys that are winners. And so whenever we play the best competition, it seems like he plays his best football, and that's what you want out of guys.
You and I talked about this whenever Kareem first got here. I looked this stat up yesterday. He has touched the ball on a third of you guys' offensive possessions since he's gotten here. He has turned into a really critical and vital part of what you were doing offensively. You were really confident in the move and really confident in his production. What is it like to see his hard work paying off and him having so much success?
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun to see because you see the work that he's putting in throughout the week to prepare himself to be ready to go out there and carry the football that many times and catch the ball and everything like that. And so it's fun to watch. I mean, he really is putting the work in, and it's like everything else, man. It's fun to watch whenever guys come in, their number gets called, and they put in the hard work, and then they go out there and execute and have success. And so it's something that we'll continue to build on as we start getting guys back. Maybe we can take some of the carries off of him, so he's not getting 20 to 30 carries a week. But whatever it takes to win, he's willing to do it.
Patrick, last thing here. I'm sure you have heard all the kind of swirlings around. Chiefs are linked to this receiver. Chiefs are linked to this receiver. What kind of input do you have in moves that could potentially happen over the next couple of weeks? What communication do you have with the front office about something that could happen?
Yeah, I mean, they keep me in the loop on stuff that they're looking at, but I don't have a ton of input, man. I know that regardless, they're going to put guys on the field that can win football games, and that's what we have right now. And if they want to add guys, they can add guys. But at the end of the day, I believe in the guys that we have in the building, and I think that we can win a lot of football games with them.
That is a quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, joining us on the show today as they get ready to travel to the site of where they won their last Super Bowl in Las Vegas. Patrick, great talking to you today, my man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
That is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. If you missed any part of our conversation, be sure to check it out on the podcast page or also on the app. Rob, are you believing that he has no input on a wide receiver? You believe in that?
Yeah, I do.
I don't believe it.
Well, let me rephrase that.
He's too high up. Just think about it as any employee. If you are the number one employee, you get a little bit of say in what's going on, right? I'm not saying that you got to be Aaron Rodgers and you just put all your homeboys on, or your, LeBron James, you can get your kid hired. But if you have the kind of success that he has at his job, your word means something. If Patrick Mahomes really wanted MVS on the team, MVS would really be on the team. There would not be a debate. Now, I don't think that he can go out there and say, hey, trade a first and a third for Tyreek Hill. Go get him to me right now. I don't think they have that kind of relationship. But anybody that's either been at a job for a long time, you've had a lot of success in the job, you've been really good, and you got serious pull within the building, you have an ability to kind of make some things happen. I think Juju is back because of Patrick Mahomes. I think McCole Hardman is back because of his relationship with Patrick Mahomes. Again, I don't think that if Mahomes wanted MVS, he would not be signing on to go play with Spencer Rattler down in New Orleans for a team that we don't think would make the postseason. He'd be playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't know per se if he's saying go get Cooper Kupp. I don't know if he even wants that kind of power. But I absolutely believe that they are going to Mahomes about the kind of receivers that they think will work, and they have that kind of communication. I think they are talking about that pretty consistently.
Maybe this is semantics, but I don't think he has, like, control like Aaron Rodgers. We agree there. But I think he has veto power, but I don't think he has power beyond that. Like, let's say the Chiefs have a deal in principle done right now, and they're like, we really want Adam Thielen. They can go to Pat and be like, hey, we're about to get Thielen. You like that? If Pat's like, no. I think they're like, okay, we'll go back to the drawing board. But I don't think they go to Pat and they say, tell us who you want, we'll make it happen. I think it's we go there, we run things by you, we make sure we're all on the same page. But I don't think he's making trades. I also think there are definitely times where, like, they go to him, they're like, hey, do you like this? And he's like, I'm on the fence. And they say, okay, well, Andy likes it, so we're going to make it happen. I think in the hierarchy of the Chiefs, his veto power is less than Andy. Like, let's say Patrick Mahomes really doesn't want Deontay Johnson picking a receiver, and Andy Reid really does. What happens? That trade comes together.
But I also don't think that happens a whole lot. Now,
I think it's rare.
Yeah, we're arguing semantics, and obviously it's like the inner workings of everything that happens. But I don't know if there are very many times where Andy is adamant and he wants a player, and Patrick is just like, no, under no circumstance do I want that guy on the team. Now, I think what I mean by this, and someone says, Sue or C-Dot, I think they go and ask him for his input, but I think he's not as involved. I don't know if an organization could give you $500 million over the course of your lifetime with that team and then you not be super involved in the things that are going on with the team. I refuse to believe it, that it's just hey, I'm just going to sit here and play and work. Like, hey, you guys think enough of me to give me this amount of money. You guys also value what I say and how I feel. If we think he had the ability for them to draft a running back in round 1, they really listen to his opinion. You can't have that he's not super involved and he's the reason they got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This is what I think. It's just only my opinion. I think if he wanted Keon Coleman instead of Xavier Worthy, they would have drafted Keon Coleman. I think he wanted Xavier Worthy. Speedster from Texas. He was working out with them in the summer. Now, everybody just could have been on the same page. Like, it's possible that just all parties agreed. Hey, this is the kind of receiver that we like. I really like this kid. If you got an opportunity to go get him, go get him. If Patrick Mahomes wants them to make a move at the deadline, I firmly believe it. And if you're Mahomes, in the vein of this conversation, and you remember how frustrating it was for you for basically the entire winter, think about it. Patrick Mahomes was yelling at refs, yelling at everybody. He was mad the second half of the season. For my own personal health, you know what? Hey, guys, we're a little bit banged up right now. I need a little bit of help here. I need a little bit of help. Now, sure, on the text line, C-Dot, I don't think Mahomes is involved like LeBron. No, I don't think he's LeBron or Aaron Rodgers. I just don't think you can have the amount of success that he's had and have the kind of paycheck that he has, and you are just a regular employee. No, you are a super employee. You are the most important employee they have ever had before. You need to ask my opinion on these kind of things. That is the kind of relationship that we need to have.
I think they definitely get his input. And I think me and the text are on the same page. They get his input, but I don't think he has LeBron, Rodgers, that level of say-so. I think they get his opinion.
And really quickly, sorry to cut you off. I also don't think he wants that level.
That was exactly what I was going to say. I don't think he wants that sort of power dynamic. I think he likes being one of the guys, and to be one of the guys, you can't be the guy who is like, no, you're not on the team. Yes, you are on the team. Like, we talked about Garrett Wilson earlier as a trade candidate, but he's confidence on Sundays, making drops that he should be catches, could be easily pointed to confidence. Mike Williams didn't practice last week because Aaron Rodgers broke that man's confidence. I don't think Mahomes can be one of the fellas shooting hoops on the little locker room basket if he's up in Veach's office being like, so-and-so sucks, trade him, I need so-and-so.
Well, I will say this, though, in relation to this, that usually comes a little bit later on in your career. I think Brady was really good at that balance. I think we also know the only reason that Antonio Brown played for the Patriots and he played for Tampa Bay. There's one reason why he was on the team. It was Tom. Whenever Tom went to Tampa Bay, hey, I'm happy to come here and play in Tampa Bay. I need X, Y, and Z. Go get them. Gronk signed pretty quickly. Antonio Brown signed pretty quickly. This is just what happens when you hire one of these kind of guys. Now, it's a little bit different when you're 28 as opposed to later in your career. This wasn't how LeBron was his first time in Cleveland. He didn't pick this up until the second time in Cleveland. Yeah, I made the decision to come back to Cleveland. If I'm coming back to play for you, Dan Gilbert, this is what I need you to do. The Lakers, you guys want me to play here? You guys want me to finish my career here in Los Angeles? I need X, Y, and Z to do that. Go make it happen. And they went and made it happen. So that might happen at some point in his career. And again, we're just having the conversation. I do think that at some point, the Chiefs are going to make a move at wide receiver. You're not doing your job as an organization if, hey, we are interested in somebody, Patrick, that you are going to directly work with, and your success is that person's success. I don't think you're doing the best job that you could possibly do if you are not sitting down with Patrick Mahomes and having a serious conversation about, hey, what do you think about this guy? You watch all this film, you watch all this football. You should be wanting to pick his brain to get a real sense of who he thinks fits and works in this offense, and at least use that information as part of your process as you go out there and you try to strengthen this roster over the course of the next couple of weeks.
So, again, maybe it's semantics. You're basically saying he's in the same level like a high-ranking scout. You want his input. You want to see what he sees in film. You want to have conversations with him. But at the end of the day, he's not sitting in the room making decisions. He's not part of the process. He's not some sort of final decision maker. Because if that's the sense I get from your point, I agree with you. I think they have their pro personnel scouting department, their college scouting department, and they get to a list of guys, hey, we want in some form or fashion. And then they go to Pat and say, hey, here's our list. What do you think of it? Oh, this guy does this well. This guy does that. I think this guy could do this well for us, da-da-da-da. But I don't think compensation or trade is ever once discussed. But I think he's like in their scout in the room, another set of eyes to watch film. Oh, I really like what I'm seeing from so-and-so on film. I think that's how they operate.
Coming up in just a little bit, I want to talk a little bit of college football ahead of Matt Verderam, who is going to join the show coming up at the top of the hour. But before we do this, it is one of my favorite times of the sports calendar. The NBA is back, baby. Tonight, we got Knicks, we got Celtics, we got Lakers, we got Timberwolves. Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. are going to be sitting at half court today as LeBron plays with his kid. We don't have to talk too much NBA because the NBA, for whatever reason, goes from Halloween up until the 4th of July. The NBA season is just way. I say this as someone who has NBA League Pass. The NBA season is just way too long with a lot of nonsense games. The NBA should start on Christmas Day. That's when the NBA should start. But Rob, the reason I want to talk about the NBA, are you excited to see your favorite player, Jason Tatum? Are you excited to see Jason Tatum crowned a champion today? They're going to hand him a nice shiny ring, and they're going to put a banner up to celebrate his accomplishments over the summer. And it's going to go right there next to NBA legend Paul Pierce. It's going to go right there next to Kevin Garnett. It's going to go right there with Kevin McHale and Larry Bird and Robert Parrish and Bill Russell, all-time Celtics great. Are you excited for ring ceremony tonight with the Celtics? I know how much you love Jason Tatum.
I just hope Jason Tatum's mic'd up, so when he walks over to Jaylen Brown and says, thank you. Without you, I could have never done it. That we all get to hear that moment, because you and I both know it's not Jason Tatum why the Celtics are hoisting a title tonight. It's Jaylen Brown.
Oh my! Now we're not going to give Jason Tatum first team All NBA. We're not going to give him any credit.
Honestly, I was thinking this. Jaylen Brown might be Konzo Martin's greatest recruit in the history.
That's not even a thought. That's an absolute. What are we talking about? That's not even debate.
But
who is it? Michael Porter?
I mean, Michael Porter was the next best guess. Jonte, he's in the league, or was.
I mean, Jaylen Brown's going to go to the Hall of Fame at some point in his life.
Jason Tatum's success is all a product of Jaylen Brown. Just a reminder.
Okay. All right. Did you see that Joel Embiid's out for the first week of the NBA season? That's how I know fall is here.
And water's wet and the sun rose today.
Yeah, there's certain checklists to let you know that fall is here. The Chargers yesterday, they had 5 trips in the red zone, lost the game yesterday, just didn't score a touchdown, kicked 5 field goals, lost yesterday. The Chargers will Charger. Kawhi Leonard is out indefinitely. That's a sign that fall is here. Go ahead and mark that on your fall blackboard. And Joel Embiid out for the first week of the season with knee problems. And he also said he's not playing any back-to-backs. It's never going to happen for Joel Embiid, is it? Sometimes guys who are hurt in college, guess what? They stay hurt. Joel Embiid, he stayed hurt. He stayed hurt. Tonight's a great night, man. I'm excited to see Jason Tatum. You know what I'm gonna do later? I'm gonna send you a text right when they show it because you know he's gonna be crying. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna send that to you, man. I want you to see it. Coming up on the other side, let's talk a little college football before Matt Verderam joins the show coming up at the top of the hour. KU, K-State, and Missouri all won this weekend. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Neighbors getting new roofs due to hail damage this year? Then you're a likely candidate for a new roof, too. Century Roofing, voted best roofing company in Johnson County 3 years straight, is giving back this holiday season. For all roof repair and replacement contracts signed before the end of the year, Century Roofing will donate a portion of proceeds to benefit Operation Breakthrough, which helps KC kids in need. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com for an inspection today. That's CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Pizza Taccio, the king of Kansas City's New York-style pizza scene, has taken KC by storm. Pizza Taccio uses the highest quality local and organic ingredients, hand-tossed by KC natives. Oh, and did I mention they were voted KC's favorite pizza? Place your order now for pickup or delivery at pizzataccio.com. Or stop in for a slice at any of their locations in OP, Midtown, North KC, St. Joe, Waldo, or Belton, and dive into the taste that's conquering Kansas City. One slice at a time.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products, we've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. This year, I get to host, and Hy-Vee's going to make it convenient for me. They have made fresh, ready to heat and serve favorites like succulent turkey, honey glazed spiral ham, prime rib, savory side dishes, and dessert. Hy-Vee's Taste of the Holidays event is coming up Saturday, November 2nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can sample all of the amazing ready-to-serve meal pack options or just get a little holiday inspiration. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take the credit, only at Hy-Vee.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth.
It's Derek Johnson, and this season, Sheep Metalworkers Local Number 2 are awarding one lucky school a $15,000 facilities enrichment grant. Tell us in 100 words why your school deserves the grant at helpmymocanschool.com and make this the best school season ever.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is sponsored by Park and Go, your top choice for all covered airport parking. Traffic starting to get heavy southbound 71 just after MLK. Also, southbound lanes of Overland Parkway as soon as you get off of 435, and heavy into downtown on northbound 35. Tackle your airport parking needs at Park and Go. Always the best service, always the best price. Open 24/7, fast and free shuttle services. All spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated. I'm Lori Pearson for 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Time to check in on MIZ, K-State, and KU. Let's go cover 3.
Ready, break! All right. I actually think that this week the conversation around these three teams is pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and get Missouri out of the way first. I do not think that there is a pathway to the college football playoff if Missouri loses on Saturday on the road to Alabama. I don't think they're going to have the wins necessary. I don't think they're going to have the resume necessary to make it to the college football playoff if they lose on Saturday to Alabama. Their schedule's just too weak if they are going to make the college football playoff. A quick glance at Missouri's schedule the rest of the way, because their schedule was one of the reasons that we thought they had a chance to make the college football playoff. I mean, the rest of the way, they play Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. If they lose to Alabama this week, what's their best win? Their best win would be Vanderbilt. Their best win would be Boston College. And now, no disrespect to either one of those teams. They're going to be bowl teams, and Vanderbilt knocked off Alabama this year. Auburn's worse than we thought they were going to be. Oklahoma's worse than we thought they were going to be. South Carolina and Arkansas are just fine. There is no pathway to me for Missouri as a 10-2 team if that's their resume to make the college football playoff. They will go to a nice bowl game. It'll be a great bowl game. They'll go to the Las Vegas Bowl or the Holiday Bowl or the Alamo Bowl or one of those bowls, but they are not going to the college football playoff if they lose to Alabama. If they beat Alabama, and it is not impossible. Like, this is not Alabama that we remember. If you're ever going to catch Alabama slipping, this is the year to do it. This Alabama team's not great by any means. If you're ever going to catch Alabama slipping, it's usually in year one of a new coach. You caught Saban slipping back in 2007, and you were certainly catching Kalen DeBoer slipping right now. Missouri can beat Alabama. Now, they have to play much better than they have played so far this season against quality competition. If they beat Alabama, we can have the conversation about them making the college football playoff. But if they lose to Alabama, that conversation is done in my mind.
I think their schedule is a curse now. We talked about the beginning of the season being a gift, but now if you lose this game, let's compare them to other potential 2-loss teams in their own conference.
Yeah, I mean, Texas would have a better
Texas would have a
resume.
better record.
Tennessee would have a better resume.
Tennessee would have a better-
Alabama would. Yeah,
A&M
their resume compared to any of those other teams is going to fall in comparison.
A&M, LSU, Georgia might have another loss. We can go down the line of team after team after team that in their own conference. And I haven't even expanded the search to say things like, what if Penn State takes 2 losses? Or what if Ohio State takes another one? Or what if someone gets Oregon? Or Notre Dame again. I don't know what that world looks like. So what understandably Mizzou fans were excited about preseason, the schedule is soft, is now going to screw them because they don't go 11-1. Their strength of schedule and their quality wins just don't exist if your losses are A&M and Bama, the only teams on there you view as quality teams. Also, if being honest, Oklahoma being trash screwed Missouri's schedule as much as anything else.
100%. Looking at the Big 12 standings, let's get to K-State and KU here. Let's talk about K-State first. So there are 6 teams in the league that are either 4-0 or 3-1. BYU and Iowa State are undefeated right now at 4-0. K-State, Cincinnati, Colorado, and Texas Tech. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see Rob's team in KU. They are 1-3. Oklahoma State is 0-4. They have not won a single game in Big 12 play. We'll get to Kansas here coming up in a bit. Now, I don't know all the tiebreaker scenarios. Last year, I don't think Chris Kleiman knew all the tiebreaker scenarios at the end of the season. At this point, I have no clue who's going to represent the Big 12 in the Big 12 championship. I think BYU is going to be one of those 2 teams. It is anybody's guess who that other team is going to be. If you're K-State, there's no reason to me why K-State should not only have 1 loss going into the game on the road against Iowa State. If you lose one of these games that you have over the course of the next month, you let a very big opportunity slip here. The Big 12, at least the portion that you have, is a little weak. You got KU, who has been losing to everybody, Houston, who's bad, Arizona State at home, Cincinnati at home. So we're talking about 2 teams new to the conference, new environments. I know Cincinnati's been here, but on the road in late November in Manhattan, Kansas. And then you go on the road to play Iowa State. I would encourage you right now. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking at it right now. You can get tickets to that K-State Iowa State game for $40. If you think K-State's going to be good, I start buying those tickets right now. Because you know what's about to be the priciest ticket in college football? If K-State and Iowa State both play each other and the winner goes to the Big 12 championship and still has a chance to go to the college football playoff. That is a playoff game. And we know the history between those 2 programs. So if you are a K-State fan and you are on the fence about it, I will go ahead and buy those tickets right now because those $40 tickets, they're going to be like $150 here coming up in a month if K-State does what they're supposed to do.
That game in Ames is a playoff game. Because K-State should win all their games going into that one. And looking at Iowa State's schedule, they should do the same. They got a bye this week, and then Tech at home at Kansas, which will be a home game for the Cyclones. Cincinnati at home and at Utah. And Utah, talk about a team that has not lived up to expectations.
No, not at all. Their quarterback's always hurt.
Well, we should have seen. And they just fired their OC. Like, Utah and that team. The winner of K-State, Iowa State is headed to Arlington. I know how K-State fans get weird if you call it Dallas. They're headed to Arlington to take on BYU. Also, BYU will be in that game because BYU's schedule is somehow the easiest I've ever seen down the stretch. Their toughest game's Utah. That's a rivalry game, so I get it gets different. But again, Utah wildly have underwhelmed this season.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, man. You can get lower levels for K-State, Iowa State right now at $60 a piece. I would just start getting ready, K-State fan.
That's Thanksgiving weekend, right?
Yeah, just start getting ready. You know that ticket. I'm telling you right now. You know what game is going to be frigid? November 30th in Iowa sounds absolutely miserable outside. That sounds fun to you, Rob?
I mean,
that don't sound fun to me. That sounds terrible.
Not to me. Have you ever been to? You actually been to Ames?
I have been to Ames before.
You've been to Ames when it was cold. You didn't go outside, but
yeah, no, I've been to Ames when it was cold and it was miserable.
You can see for miles because nothing is stopping the skyline.
I went to Hilton Coliseum and I had to take that walk from the parking to the stadium, and boy, let me tell you, that was a cold walk. I'm gonna tell you, it was a cold walk. KU, this is where I'm supposed to have KU thoughts. Are you guys gonna make a bowl game?
No,
it's basketball season, right?
I mean,
we don't have to fake talk about KU football anymore. We can move on, right?
They could be a fun spoiler. They have every team who's good is on their schedule. They'll probably lose all of them, but they could spoil someone's season. They could ruin BYU's season.
On the road?
They could ruin Colorado's season. They could trip up Iowa State. Those are the 3 games where it's like, oh, you can be spoiler. But yeah, their season's over.
They don't have a home game left.
Colorado will be a home game. Iowa State won't.
No, Iowa State will absolutely not be a home game. I'm telling you that right now. Iowa State will not be a home game. Not at all. KU fans, y'all don't want to go out there when it's warm. You're going to go out there in a couple of weeks when basketball starts and it's going to be a little windy outside. It's going to be 30,000 people there. 24,000 of them are going to cheer for Iowa State.
Oh, Iowa State's bringing more than that. Have you seen T-Mobile Center in March?
Yeah, that's a little different, though. That's a little different. They treat that like a party. We outside, we drinking, it's warm outside. That's a little different. No, they might bring about 40, 45. They might bring 50,000 people down here to the Iowa State Invitational. All right, coming up on the other side, we're happy to be joined by Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. We'll get his thoughts on who the Chiefs could pick up at wide receiver. We'll also go through some of the top storylines in the NFL. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is sponsored by Park & Go, your top choice for all covered airport parking. Traffic starting to get heavy southbound 71 just after MLK. Also, southbound lanes of Overland Parkway as soon as you get off of 435. And heavy into downtown on northbound 35. Tackle your airport parking needs at Park & Go. Always the best service, always the best price. Open 24/7, fast and free shuttle services. All spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and operated. I'm Lori Pearson for 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Every 4 years, the world watches. Every corner kick, every save, every pass. The world watches its most beautiful game played at its highest level. And for a moment, the world stops turning for soccer. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026, helping to bring the game's biggest tournament to Kansas City. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A., member FDIC.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here for our new friends over at Heartland's Men's Health. I recently learned something. Did you know that half of the men over the age of 50 experience erectile dysfunction? It also can affect younger men. ED isn't just a medical issue. It can take a toll on your confidence and your relationships. And over at Heartland Men's Health, they believe that ED is treatable, and their expert team offers up solutions with a success rate that's over 90%. You can enjoy intimacy without the anxiety. Take back control. And for just $99, your initial visit includes a medical consultation, test, and even a test dose. And if it doesn't work, your visit is on the house. It's totally free. Men are getting back to enjoying a vibrant sex life just one day after their appointment with my friends over at Heartland's Men's Health, and that's what I want for you. Go stop by any one of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Don't settle. Pick up the phone and call my friend at Heartland's Men's Health at 844-447-6600 or check out heartlandmenshealth.com. Get your life back today.
What does it mean to be the official information technology provider for the Chiefs? It means everything. Technology Group Solutions makes sure everything runs flawlessly for the millions of fans that attend games and the hundreds of millions of fans that comprise Chiefs Kingdom around the world. Technology Group Solutions can deploy that same dedication, problem solving, and incredible service to ensure your business runs smoothly. Technology Group Solutions, powering Chiefs Kingdom, and ready to do the same for you.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
You can listen to the play-by-play of the Chiefs and Raiders game with Mitch, Danon, and Kling right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated to get his thoughts on some of the top stories happening in the NFL. And we're going to have him on until the Chiefs figure out what they're going to do at wide receiver. Matt, happy to have you on here. Let's just start with this. You and I imagine we are on the same page. I don't think the Chiefs need to go out and trade for Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave or Tyreek Hill, but just based on how the room has had so much attrition over the course of the last 3 weeks, the Chiefs have to do something at wide receiver, right?
Yes. I think at this point, whether Brett Veach wants to admit it to himself or not, I would imagine he has, they don't have enough. Now, we saw last year they could win the Super Bowl with you and me and somebody from the grocery store playing receiver, and they might be able to figure it out. But there's no margin for error. And, you know, with Juju now dealing with a hamstring, and look, we're not sure how long-term it's going to be, but let's be real. If you're ruled out on a Monday, it's probably going to be more than 1 week. They need to figure this out. You can't have 33 snaps from Sky Moore. You just can't. It's untenable. You're playing 11 on 10. So I think if you're the Chiefs, does it have to be DeAndre Hopkins? No. You know, but I think Deontay Johnson makes sense. I think Darius Slayton makes sense. I will say this. It doesn't have to be a superstar addition. It doesn't have to be Cooper Kupp, which has been talked about, of course, today. It cannot be DeMarcus Robinson. And I don't mean that as a slam on Robinson. I just mean it can't be somebody of Robinson's caliber where you add the guy and just go, okay, we're done now. That doesn't move the needle an ounce. Like, they need to actually go out and acquire somebody who can be at least a second option in the offense.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderam, going through some of the wide receiver names that are out there, and we'll get to the top stories as well. All right, let's talk about Cooper Kupp, because Diana Rossini put that report out there earlier today. I don't have much interest in Cooper Kupp. Sure, he was a great player in 2021, but if you're telling me he's worth a second-round pick for a guy who hasn't been healthy in any of the last 3 seasons, that's just not a player that, to me, makes a lot of sense to justify the cost. And I'm just not sure if he's going to be healthy enough to really help the Chiefs when they need him most.
I would be very surprised if the Chiefs trade for Cooper Kupp. He's 31 years old this year. His base salary for the whole year this year is $15 million. Obviously, prorate that. Next year, it's $12.5. The year after that, it's $14.8. Now, those aren't huge numbers, but they're significant. And you would want the Rams to eat a lot of that. Now, I understand the Rams, according to Diana's reporting, say, well, they would eat some of that, and that's fine. But since the start of 2022, Cooper Kupp has played in 23 games. He has missed 17 other games. So you're not trading for a guy who's reliable. You're not trading for a guy who's young. And you you can't, because of those things, give up anything more than a fourth-round pick. There's no way I would give them a day 2 pick. I wouldn't give them a third-round pick. I mean, unless they're literally willing to eat his entire contract. And it's just, hey, you're getting him for the minimum. Okay, maybe I'd give him, the Chiefs' third-rounder. But if the Chiefs have to pay any kind of real money, yeah, I'm giving them a fourth-round pick. And I don't even know if I do that. Like, my question, if they did the trade for Kupp, then why didn't you just trade for Amari Cooper, who's making 1.2 in base this year and is not as old as Kupp, and I could argue is better. It's like, I don't understand the thought process as to why the Chiefs would go get Kupp, but then not go out and get Cooper, who would have made more sense, and they could have outbid the Bills either with their own third-round pick or Tennessee's third-round pick.
Matt, would you be more interested in Demarcus Robinson or Darius Slayton?
Slayton by a mile, not even close. Slayton's a real receiver. That I think moves the needle. Look, he's not great, but he's had pretty much on average 750 yards each of the last few years. He's doing that with Daniel Jones. I think that guy could have 1,000 yards in an offense with Mahomes. Now, I'm not saying obviously he's not going to do it in 8 games, but like over the course of a 17-game season, I think he could have 900,000 yards. He's a much better player. Listen, Demarcus Robinson is useful. I don't want it to come off like I don't think he can help at all. But, like, let's be real. If they go get Demarcus Robinson, they're getting Demarcus Robinson because they know him. That's it. There's no other reason. Because there's 100 Demarcus Robinsons they can go out and get. And so if they go get him, it's because they're sitting there saying he knows the offense, which I will say out front, that is the biggest waste of a line that the Chiefs always seem to kind of put out. This idea that, well, the guy's got to know the offense. You're a receiver. I mean, at some point, hey, go run a 9 route. Go run a 7 route. Go run. It's not a quarterback. It's not the linebacker. It's not the middle linebacker calling the defense. We saw Drew Tranquil come in there a year ago in a much tougher spot when Bolton got hurt early in the year and gets the green dot and said, hey, Drew, go get him. And it was fine. We saw Amari Cooper go 4 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown in Buffalo in his first game. Like, the idea that the Chiefs can't bring in somebody who doesn't implicitly know the scheme is just crazy.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderame going through some of the wide receiver options for the Chiefs. What do you think that Deontay Johnson would cost? I think it would cost your third-round pick. I'm not sure if it's Tennessee's third-round pick or the Chiefs' third-round pick. Is that about what you have his price range at?
Yeah, I have it as probably about the Chiefs giving up their own third and then maybe getting a 7th back. I think it'd be like a mid to early 4th-round value. I think it's about right. And I think if you're the Chiefs, listen, I mean, if it comes down to it, would you just give your third straight up for him? Yeah, you probably would. I don't think it would cost more than that. I don't think it would cost any less. I think that's the right price. Look, Johnson is 28. He's a really good player. We've talked, Carrington, I have him as a 1B to a 1A of Cooper. Like, I think they're pretty similar type of players in terms of their impact. He would be a huge addition for them. And I just think if you're the Chiefs and you're looking at your team, you're looking at the roster, you're going to get Amenahu back. Pacheco's going to come back. Juju at some point here is going to come back. Watson, it appears, is out for the year now. Maybe they get him back late in the playoffs. Hollywood Brown, to my understanding, it's possible he comes back late in the year for and then into the playoffs, but it's an unknown. He's got a lot of rehab ahead of him. If you're them, though, you got to look at the rest of the roster and go, what are we doing if we don't upgrade at receiver? I mean, the rest of the team's so loaded. Even without Watson, I think the defense will figure it out, although he was playing great. Offensively, if you don't add a real receiver, you just make it so much harder on Mahomes and that offense to function against good teams.
One name that continues to pop up on the text line, and I don't have a good answer for this, and maybe you do have an answer for it. A lot of people ask about Hunter Renfrow. It is very telling to me that we are at Halloween. He's not on the NFL roster. Is he hurt? Why is Hunter Renfrow not in the league?
He just flat out was not good last year. I mean, to the point that I think most people feel like he's cooked. If you look at Renfrow and you look at his numbers over the last handful of years, I mean, he's a guy who I think it's fair to say is probably at very best a fringe roster guy, which is why he's not signed. It's weird because he's only 28 years old. But, after having 1,000 yards in 2021 and being a Pro Bowler, he played 10 games in 2022. He had 330 yards. 2023, he played all 17 games. He had 255 yards. I think people just believe that he's kind of done. I don't know that I feel like he's done. I also don't know that he would make any meaningful difference for the Chiefs. But I also, look, at some point here, they've got to be willing to shake this thing up because, look, it was unfortunate. You lost Brown for most, if not all, of the year. You lost Rice for the year. You couldn't have seen that coming. But now you've got to adjust. And just sitting there playing Justin Watson and Sky Moore a whole bunch more, that's not the answer. And neither is playing Justin Ross or Nico Remigio, which I've had a bunch of fans ask me about those guys. Well, because they're not playing them for a reason. Because they don't think they're good enough to compete on the NFL level consistently. So you got to go out and get somebody. I don't think Renfro does anything for him any more than some of the other guys we talked about.
All right, last wide receiver question here, and I do want to go to some storylines. 3-part question here. Give me an unrealistic option for the Chiefs. That's them reuniting with Tyreek Hill. I would put that in the unrealistic option. Give me your best case option. Give me your absolute worst case option as we are exactly 2 weeks away from the NFL trade deadline.
Well, you took the unrealistic one. I mean, if I'm Beach, I'm at least picking up the phone and calling Greer down in Miami and saying, hey, man, how's the first and a third sound? And just, look, if he hangs up the phone, fine. But I'd try it. I would definitely, especially if they lose to Arizona this week. I mean, you got 2 games left for the trade deadline. Their 2 games are Arizona and Buffalo. Like, there's the world. Miami's 2-6. I'd call them and ask. I'd take a shot at it. But I agree with you. Look, it is highly improbable. Best case scenario, I think, is Deontay Johnson. I think he's the best guy out there. Hopkins is also, to me, a real weapon and a guy who could still play at 1,000 yards a year ago. And then, by the way, in that same vein, Christian Kirk is more interesting to me than a lot of people. Like, he's still fairly young, and he plays in their system. Jacksonville plays the same system with Peterson. So that would be a very interesting game. If they could get Jacksonville to take any of the salary, if I'm the Chiefs, like, I would be all in on trying to get Christian Kirk. In the worst case scenario, other than just doing nothing, I think would just be going and getting somebody who's a familiar face just because they're a familiar face. And again, I know that sounds like a shot at Robinson. It really isn't. I think he's a useful player. It's just like that, or if they, if somehow they decide to go find somebody else who maybe over the years has played, like if they bring in MBS. It just doesn't do anything. What does it do? You're not any better. You're going to play a guy 60 snaps a game in a playoff game? They've got to go get somebody who actually matters. And I don't think there's a familiar face out there other than Tyreek Hill that would move that needle.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated for a few minutes here. Let's get to some of the big picture NFL storylines here. Matt, there was a time in the first quarter of that game last night when Tampa Bay went up 10-0 that I was thinking, man, Tampa Bay is kind of good. Are they a sleeper in the Super Bowl? And then Mike Evans got hurt, and then Chris Godwin got hurt, and now I'm like, are they even going to make the postseason? Like, it was the most NFL swing of emotion that I can remember watching Tampa Bay last night.
I'm with you. At 10-0, you're sitting there going, man, they're rolling. And, unfortunately and ironically, it all kind of turned simultaneously because they were up 10-7, and Mayfield throws a perfect pass to Evans in the back of the end zone. And it was the play Evans got hurt on. Hit him right in his hands. He couldn't hold on, probably because he's in pain. Drops the ball and has to leave. And now, there are reports he's going to be out at least a month. And then, they're down 10. And I know Todd Bowles has taken a lot of heat for this. Look, Chris Godwin's in the game. You could argue whether he should or he shouldn't have been, but he is. And he fractures his ankle, and he's done for the year now. And I'm with you. You look at them now and go, well, Atlanta's better, and Atlanta should win that division. And if they don't, something's wrong with Atlanta. And, not to swing it back to Kansas City. Kansas City plays Tampa in 2 weeks. And you got Kansas City here at 6-0. They got the Raiders, the Bucs without Godwin and Evans, and Denver. I mean, you can't see you could be looking at 9-0 going to Buffalo, which would be one heck of a storyline. But, yeah, the Buccaneers, really unfortunate. I was with you. I was excited about them.
Going through some of the other storylines, last night I'm watching it, and I don't know why. I had it in my mind that I was going to bet on Arizona all day. And I was talking to our boss, Steven Spector, and he's like, why are you going to bet against the team that's got the better coach and the better quarterback? And I sat there and I was thinking about it. I was like, man, you know what? You're right. And I flipped my pick. And then you know what happened? The Chargers morphed back into the Chargers. Man, it doesn't matter who their head coach is. It doesn't matter who their quarterback is. It is in their blood. It is in their DNA. The Chargers will always Charger.
I was sitting there watching that game, and about, I don't know, midway through the third quarter, I was like, they're going to lose this game. I don't know how they're going to lose it, but you could just see it coming. They can't score a touchdown. You know, that running game that was so vaunted earlier in the year, they can't run for a foot. You could just kind of see it coming. And, you know, once Arizona got the ball and only needed a field goal, you know, yeah, they're probably going to get it. And they did. I've seen a lot of people talk about how the Chargers got to go get a receiver. And, yes, look, their receiving talent is not good. It is not a good depth chart. It doesn't matter. They can't, like, yeah, sure, go get a receiver. I'm not even arguing that point, but Greg Roman doesn't want to throw the ball. And they're going to just check it down and check it down and check it down and check it because he and Harbaugh want to play like it's 1965. And you can do that, but what's going to happen when you play like that, you shrink the game, you don't get a big lead typically, and you end up in these games that could just go either way with 5 minutes left. And I don't care if you're the better team. When you leave a team in for that long, there are going to be some weeks it just goes against you for whatever the reason. And the Chargers at 3-3, could they make the playoffs? Yeah, but the AFC West officially ended last night. I don't see any world that the Chargers or the Broncos or certainly the Raiders are threatening Kansas City.
What if I had told you at the beginning of the season, hey, you know what, Chicago and Washington, that's going to be two of the better teams in the National Football League. It is crazy how things change in such a short period of time. I certainly hope that Jaden Daniels is able to go on Sunday because that matchup, just those two quarterbacks, number one, number two overall pick, two emerging franchises. Washington-Chicago is one of the better games this weekend in the league.
Yeah, it got flexed into the late window, and rightfully so. Williams has played well the last 3 games. Washington sitting there atop the division. It is an exciting time for those two franchises. I'm based outside Chicago, and people are beside themselves because the Bears, it's the first time they've been over 500 by more than a game in 4 years. And, for Washington's been a grease fire for a quarter century. So all of a sudden, you have these two storied franchises that actually matter again. And it's great. It's great for the league. It's great for those fan bases. It's funny because when you look at it, really, Chicago's probably a little bit more of a complete team right now. Better weapons, better defense. But Daniels is electrifying. And you watch that kid play. And every once in a while, a rookie gets off to a hot start, and you watch the kid, and you're like, yeah, all right, he's off to a hot start, but I don't know. You watch that, he can play. That guy can just flat out play the game of football. As long as he stays healthy, he's the answer. He's the guy Washington's been waiting for forever. I'm excited to watch that game. Come the late window Sunday. That on Chiefs Raiders. That'll be a fun little window to watch.
I asked you this last week. Are you worried about San Francisco? Because I know everybody, look at the talent that they have. I mean, we are almost halfway through the NFL season. The Niners are under 500. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. Brandon Ayuk is out for the rest of the season. And Deebo Samuel just checked out of the hospital for pneumonia. If you are asking me right now, I do not think San Francisco makes the postseason. I think they are going to be on the outside looking in. What side of the coin are you on right now with the Niners?
Last week I wasn't concerned. This week I am because of the injuries. Ayuk now is gone for the year. Deebo, look, I thankfully checked out of the hospital. Like that's not nothing, man. I mean, you get pneumonia with fluid in your lungs. Like you're not going to walk out of that and feel great tomorrow. I have no idea what's going on with McCaffrey. Nobody seems to. I've checked in with anybody I can think about checking in with, and nobody knows anything. So who knows? There's this thought of like, well, he'll be back after the bye. Will he be? Why does everyone think? I mean, I don't know if he's going to be back. If he does come back, is he him? Is he 50% of him? I still think that division is bad, and I could see them just scraping a 10-7 and finding a way. But yeah, look, I'm more worried than I was a week ago because without Ayuk and McCaffrey, you're starting to get to a point offensively where you're going to have Purdy do a lot more than he's had to do. And maybe he can do it, but maybe he can't.
Last couple questions here. Give me a team that you think is maybe better than their record. Give me a team that you think is, how in the world is that team 5-2 or 4-3? Which one of those teams are on either side?
So the team that I just can't fathom how they have the record they have in a positive way is Denver. I mean, has anyone watched Bo Nix? They can't throw a pass. It's unbelievable. Like there have been more than a few games this year where he has thrown for less than 50 yards at halftime. And not because he's thrown the ball 5 times. Like, he's 4 of 15 for 38 yards and a pick, and they win. And I give it to their defense. Vance Joseph's done an amazing job. But if you look at their schedule, they play Carolina this week. They'll probably win. After that, it gets rough. Kansas City twice, Cincinnati, Baltimore. And on the flip side of that, the team I think is better than the record might indicate, this team I actually just mentioned is Cincinnati. The Bengals defensively, it's a wreck, but Anarumo's a great coordinator. I think he figures some of that out. And offensively, listen, Burrow's playing really good ball. They've got Chase. They've got Higgins. If that line can hold up at all and do anything at all, I think they're going to figure it out and get in the playoffs. And if they do, they're a really, really dangerous wild card team.
Matt, are you a pancake, a waffle, or a French toast guy?
I'm a pancake guy. Give me a buttermilk chocolate chip.
That is our guy, Matt Verderam, joining us on the show to update us on everything that is happening in the National Football League. You and I, we're always simpatico. I'm happy that you and I are on the same page about Cooper Kupp. When I saw that report earlier today, I'm thinking he's 31 years old and he's broken down. Why in the world would you give a second-round pick for that player?
It just doesn't, square for me, and I know we got to go, but square for me. They wouldn't trade for Amari Cooper, and from the reporting that Nate Taylor, the Athletic, gave, who's a friend of yours and a friend of mine, does a hell of a job. The reporting was they didn't want to go over the age of 30 with the guy, which, knowing how the Chiefs think, I would imagine, without verifying, I would corroborate that. They have a big thing about age 30. So you didn't want to go over age 30 for a guy making $1.2 million. But you're going to go for an older player with a bigger injury history and a bigger contract, and they want more for him? Why would you do – how does that make any sense? It doesn't, and I don't believe it.
That is our guy, Matt Verderam. Appreciate you, Matt.
You got it, Carrington.
Absolutely. That is Matt Verderam joining us on the show today. Always happy to get his thoughts. I'm with you. We'll play the Diana Rossini. It's just – everything he said there at the end. They wouldn't trade for Amari Cooper, but now they would for Cooper Kupp. It's just – the math ain't mathing, folks.
Cooper Kupp, Kansas City Chiefs. Is there a chance?
If the Rams are willing to take on the salary I heard that they're willing to do, so they are definitely open to trading Cooper Kupp. So we'll see if they'll be able to get a deal done. I just don't think Kansas City has even enough money, even if the Rams were to take on some of that salary. That's been the problem and the reason why they haven't been able to go after a Devontae Adams, an Amari Cooper, like we've seen other teams be aggressive with.
Rob, I want to ask you this question. I know you'll tell me the truth if I'm only thinking this because the player is white. Is it fair to say that Hunter Renfrow is just wide receiver Peyton Hillis? Because you remember Peyton Hillis back in 2010, he was really good. He had 270 carries, had almost 1,200 yards, and had 11 touchdowns. And then he played 4 more seasons after that, and his high was 587 yards. He came to Kansas City, and I'm guessing that some of you were very excited about adding Peyton Hillis to the team. Well, he had 85 carries for 309 yards and scored 1 touchdown. He was not very good in his time in Kansas City. Hunter Renfrow, a couple of years ago, he was really good. He had 128 targets, had almost 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Since that, he had 330 yards, 255 yards, and he's currently out of the league. That sounds to me like Peyton Hillis. I just want to know, maybe I'm only saying that because Hunter Renfrow's white.
I don't know if it's Peyton Hillis, but it's a problem a lot of fans fall into. I think it's actually more the Justin Ross problem. We saw him play really well at Clemson 12 years ago. And then there was one really good season with the Raiders, albeit it's all because of volume. He got 130 targets. That's never happening again in his NFL career. And then he fell out of sight, out of mind. And fans just assume, hey, the guy I saw dominating at Clemson 9 years ago that had one good season in the league, he must still be good. But I think time has marched on for him. I think he's just whatever. There's a reason Hunter Renfro's unemployed.
Yeah, I guess maybe in this, and it's vocal minority, so I'm not coming down too hard, it's funny how, like, I don't know if people, like, can ever, like, just identify, like, man, that guy's just cooked. You know, it's over. Michael Thomas, it's over. Jarvis Landry, it's over. You had a great career. Jarvis Landry had a phenomenal career. Made a lot of money in this league, was a really productive player. He's done. Hunter Renfrow, you got to play in the NFL for 5 years. You made a little bit of money. Go find something else to do with your life. No, Hunter Renfrow is not coming in. He is not moving the needle for the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, Rob, I would like to do a Carrington hypothetical button game, 913-586-7965. I will give you the genesis of it, but these are your two options, Rob. One option is the Chiefs take a big swing at wide receiver. They trade a first-round pick, and they go get either Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave. They swing big. They're all in for the 3P. Or they trade a third-round pick for Deontay Johnson. Which of those would you take? 913-586-7965. I'll tell you which one of those options I would take. I also want to get you guys' opinion. We'll play the Carrington hypothetical button game next. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. You know, I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. You know, basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
We interrupt with a special report from the Missouri Lottery. With a new millionaire every 8.1 days last year, there's no shortage of Missouri Lottery winners. However, there is currently a shortage of confetti. This may impact all confetti-related activities, hullabaloos, whoop-de-doos, jamborees, shebangs, and any and all festive goings-ons. Rest assured, Missouri Lottery winners will receive a single confetto with every big win for the time being. We apologize for the shortage, but not the winning. Thus concludes this report from the Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome. Play responsibly.
My name is Michael, and I am a Centric graduate. I was burnt out at my sales job and just going through the motions. I decided it was finally time to stop putting it off and make a change in my life. Centric's hands-on training and FAST program was the step that I needed. I graduated with the certifications and real-world experience to get a career in tech. I got a job and haven't looked back, only to a better future. Don't put it off any longer. Visit Centric.com to take control of your future. That's Centric.com.
You've been waiting, and now is the time. Golden Oak Lending has fixed mortgage rates at 4.875%. But don't wait, this rate won't last forever. Call today and take advantage of our low 4.875 fixed rate. Call 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.784 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Hey, it's Bob Fesco, and you don't have to keep living with all of that joint pain. Real, lasting relief is possible with help from QC Kinetics. People here are getting their lives back, getting their mobility back, thanks to QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies that can revitalize your joints. And I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine, using your own body's healing properties, highly concentrated and carefully placed in your achy joint. Back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain. These are cutting-edge treatments that require no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a quick in-office procedure that can get you moving again. You owe it to yourself to learn more. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Hi, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being part of a team. A group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metalworkers, local number 2, are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
Ready to take your business to the next level? In today's fast-paced marketing world, staying ahead isn't just an option, it's essential. That's where scale marketing comes in. We don't just help you compete, we make sure you win. Whether you're looking to grow, expand, or overcome stagnation, Scale Marketing is your performance marketing partner. We specialize in helping mid-sized B2C companies with teams of over 100 thrive. Scale Marketing is a full-service agency offering expertise in performance marketing across traditional and digital platforms, creative production, and data analytics. We treat your money like it's our own, ensuring every dollar is spent with purpose and every decision is driven by data. Our knowledgeable team stays ahead of the trends, crafting strategies that align with your business goals. Partnering with Scale Marketing means gaining a dedicated strategist and a team committed to your success. If you're ready to lead the market, visit scalemarketing.com today. That's scalemarketing.com.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Two-car crash, northbound 71 in the downtown loop area. That's right at 70. It is on the right shoulder, but we're seeing some slowdowns around it. Emergency vehicles westbound 435 just outside the triangle, just past 103rd Street. And traffic looking heavy eastbound 70 over 435. I'm Lori Pearson for 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. The question is simple. The decision is hard. It's time for the hypothetical button game on The Drive.
I want to answer this text really quickly. I think this is a really good question. C-Dot, you keep saying that you think the Chiefs could get Deontay Johnson for a third, but what makes you so certain? Don't you think they would have done it by now if that was the cost? Carolina knows they have us over a barrel and are probably asking for a second. The reason I feel pretty confident that a third-round pick could get it done, I also think the third could also be a little bit too high, is, I mean, we just saw 2 players get traded for a third-round pick. Now, Davante Adams is a little bit different. It could be a second-round pick. I mean, since Deontay Johnson has been in the league, he got in the league in 2019. He has one 1,000-yard season. Over that same amount of time, Davante Adams has 4. In one of those years, he had 997 yards. So almost every year since he has been in the league, Davante Adams has had 1,000 yards, and Amari Cooper has also had 4 1,000-yard seasons during that time. If you are charging the same price for Deontay Johnson that was the going price for Amari Cooper or Davante Adams, then you're not trading him then to anybody. And that's fine. If Carolina just says, hey, we're not going to trade him and we are going to roll the dice to see if we can re-sign this player in the offseason, then sure. I'm guessing that they're going to lose Deontay Johnson in the offseason, because if I'm a wide receiver, you want to know the team I'm not super interested in signing with? The team who doesn't know who their quarterback is. I'm probably not signing there in the offseason, and I'm going to weigh all of my options and see if there's a better payday out there. So I don't 100% know that Deontay Johnson is available for a third-round pick. But if you were telling me that he is worth a second-round pick, the last 2 receivers to get traded for what we thought was going to be a second-round pick, one was Diggs when he left Buffalo. The other is possibly Davante Adams. I like Deontay Johnson. He is a good player. He is not Stephon Diggs or Davante Adams. So a 2 is, that's what the Rams are asking for Cooper Kupp, and he won Super Bowl MVP. I don't think that's what Deontay Johnson is worth. So that's why I feel confident saying that the Chiefs' third-round pick, and I think that might be the ceiling of what he is possibly worth. I think you could actually maybe get Deontay Johnson a little bit cheaper. But the fact that they have 2 third-round picks, if I'm one of those teams, I'm trying to make the Chiefs give up one of those additional third-round picks. Is that sound logic to you, Rob?
Logic is sound. I mean, and we presume that the Panthers, with a guy in the final year of the contract, is not going to be asking for 120 cents on the dollar. So, yeah, the logic, I agree, is very sound.
Text line 913-586-7965. So I'm asking this question. You guys can answer the question if you would like. Would you rather, if I tell you that the Chiefs are going to make a move, you can take a big swing and use your first-round pick to go get Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson, whichever one you like. I think Garrett Wilson's the better of those 2 players. I don't think Garrett Wilson's available. I could see a scenario in which Chris Olave is available. Saints don't want to pay him the big money. They can go ahead and get a first-round pick for him. They're going to draft a quarterback at the end of the season. They kind of want to start over. Like, you could convince me that Chris Olave could be had with a first-round pick. The Jets, I just can't see them being all in and then in a week now making a decision that they're not all in. I just don't think Garrett Wilson's available, but it's a fun hypothetical. Or I tell you that the Chiefs take the, quote, safer route and they trade a third-round pick for Deontay Johnson. Now, Rob, I'm going to guess that you actually don't want to trade either one of them because you hate parting with draft picks because every draft pick could turn out to be Travis Kelce with the 97th overall pick. You guys know where I stand. I would make the trade for Deontay Johnson. I think he is the right intersection of cost and productivity. He is not too expensive where you are not, quote, mortgaging your future. I also think he's a guy that in the right system, in the right scheme, could be a legitimate, I don't want to say number 1, but a high number 2. I think he could be that in Kansas City's offense. I think he moves the needle. I'm not really sure too many of the other names that we could possibly throw out there. I'm not really sure if those guys move the needle as much as I think he does. So it is a cost that I am willing to pay for what I think right now is their biggest need. I know they have an injury at corner. You guys tell me to never worry about corner, that Spags is going to figure it out. So I'm going to let Spags figure out the defensive side, and let's try to get it where Pat's not throwing the ball to Sky Moore in a postseason game, and let's go try to get a couple more options.
So you're on the right path. I would trade nothing for players. I would hoard picks. I would be Sam Presti if I was in charge of the NFL. Like that's an NBA move for you. The NBA's back tonight. I would have all the picks in the world. But of those 2 options, I'm with you. Trade for Deontay Johnson. You said it perfectly. Deontay Johnson is the perfect intersection of price and productivity. A third-rounder for him, I'm cool with. I'm even cool with you saying a third-rounder on him. You can get him on a reasonably cheap contract in the offseason, and now you could get him for multiple years of control because I don't think Deontay Johnson is going to break the bank this offseason. He might not be Hollywood Brown cheap, but he's probably closer to Hollywood Brown than he's Tyreek Hill this offseason. So that's the obvious play. Also, and I know Speck said it earlier when Speck says, he said, quote, I don't know why you want to keep pick 31 or 32. That's a lottery ticket. I hate when people say that because it's not a lottery ticket. It's 5 years of cost control. Xavier Worthy might not ever be a star. He might not ever be Chris Olave. But you know what he is? Cheap for 5 years. And that 5 years of cheapness gives you flexibility to sign other players. You don't know why Karlaftis and McDuffie are probably getting locked up long-term by this organization? Because they made good first-round picks and they're financially strong because they keep their first-round picks. So no on Olave, no on Wilson, although I agree with you, I don't think Wilson's actually available. No on those 2 for a first and a third. No to those 2 on the impending mega deal. Yes to Deontay Johnson. You can hit a double without swinging for the fences. That's what Deontay Johnson is.
I want to play for you guys what kind of gave us this idea. So Spectre recorded this for us. Spec wants the Chiefs to be all in.
Going out and getting a bona fide number 1 wide receiver for a first-round draft pick is okay. It's okay to give up assets for known commodities. Think about who the Chiefs had options at number 31 or number 32 the last 2 years in the draft. You're telling me you'd rather have that lottery ticket than a known commodity and a number 1 wide receiver to pair with Patrick Mahomes? I think you're wrong. And I understand that both guys are in year 3 and you're going to have to pay them in the next 18 to 24 months. And maybe that's getting rid of Trey Smith or George Karlaftis. But you know what? I get a number 1 wide receiver with Patrick Mahomes, who's 24 years old. Sign me up every day of the week for a first and third round pick for not only Garrett Wilson, but Chris Olave. Either one works for me. I'm totally fine with taking a swing on either guy.
We can talk more about this coming up on the other side, and I know we're up against a break. I'm surprised that Spectre would want to add the contract that either one of those individuals would have. Like, I'm reading the text line, and a lot of you we haven't always hit on those first-round picks, even though Trent McDuffie was a hit on a first-round pick and George Karlaftis was a hit on a first-round pick, so I kind of feel like they have hit on first-round picks. But I get it. Sometimes the Chiefs have missed on first-round picks. They might have missed on Felix Anudike. They missed on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You also have hit on picks. So that's where I disagree. Like, it is kind of a lotto ticket. It is a 50-50 dice roll, whatever you want to say. I don't know what about the Chiefs makes us think that they are going to make a trade that then also ties them into a massive contract as well with where they are. That was fine when you made the Frank Clark trade. Your quarterback was on a rookie contract, and you could afford to gamble a little bit because you had no Super Bowls at that moment, and you were trying to get there. Now that we've seen the Chiefs do it with more cost-controlled options at wide receiver, I now don't think, because of a couple of injuries, they are going to pull the thread and now trade a first-round pick and also sign themselves up for a massive contract. If they wanted to do that, why didn't they do that over the course of the offseason when they needed a wide receiver back in March too, and they got Hollywood Brown on a 1-year deal? The Chiefs just have shown us over the course of the last 3 off seasons, they're just not spending big-time dollars at wide receiver. So now I don't see them making a big-time trade and paying Chris Olave $30 million a year. Patrick Mahomes coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
It is one of my favorite times of the year. The NBA is back, baby, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, wants you to catch all the action because right now, FanDuel is giving all users, yes, every single user, 3 months free of NBA League Pass. All you need to do to catch every tip-off and every buzzer beater is place a $5 bet on the NBA. You can place this on LeBron having the most assists, Victor Wembanyama to win MVP, or who you think is going to win the NBA Cup. If you're new to FanDuel, all you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/CDOT. Use my promo code to get 3 months free of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. After 3 month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds, terms and restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
This report is brought to you by Flying H Drag Strip. Drag racing is back in Kansas City. FlyingHDragStrip.com. Kansas City Drag Racing is back. Join us for Hooktober at Flying H Drag Strip, October 25th and 26th, featuring pro mod cars, top dragsters, and quarter-mile drag racing. Plus, Night of Heroes, free entry for veterans with military ID. Get tickets now at FlyingHDragStrip.com. A real horsepower hangout.
At Shane Company, our engagement rings are the perfect blend of design, function, and beauty, each one a unique work of art. We meticulously craft our bridal jewelry in our jeweler's workshop to the highest standards, expertly setting each diamond by hand, ensuring the structure is perfectly balanced, and sizing everything for the perfect fit. Shane Company offers a free unmatched lifetime warranty because your engagement ring is an heirloom that was made to last. You'll cherish your ring today, tomorrow, and forever. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, My tenant won't pay the rent houses and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to rexbuyskc.com. That's rexbuyskc.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with cancer? You want the most knowledgeable physicians with the latest technology. That's KCPI, the Kansas City Proton Institute. KCPI has a full suite of the most advanced imaging and treatment technology necessary to localize high-intensity proton beams. That's a critical part of maximizing cure rates while minimizing recovery time and long-term side effects. Proton therapy provides patients with the most advanced form of radiation treatments for cancer. It destroys cancer cells with supreme accuracy, reducing the risk of harmful side effects. KCPI has Kansas City's first and only system that uses pencil beam technology, resulting in precision targeting and less radiation to your surrounding healthy tissue. Proton therapy is now available in the comfort of an office at KCPI, making it more efficient and affordable than a hospital. So contact KCPI for the most knowledgeable physicians with the latest technology. Don't wait. Get precision technology with the highest safety measures with KCPI. Online at kcpi.com.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-554-6899. That's 800-554-6899. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-554-6899 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Two-car crash, northbound 71 in the downtown loop area. That's right at 70. It is on the right shoulder, but we're seeing some slowdowns around it. Emergency vehicles westbound 435 just outside the triangle, just past 103rd Street. And traffic looking heavy eastbound 70 over 435. I'm Lori Pearson for 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's Rashee Rice. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll talk about the most latest report from Diana Rossini. And if you missed our conversation with Patrick Mahomes, we'll replay it for you coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We've been talking about wide receiver. So Spectre said, I have a take for you guys. And I was like, all right, we'll go record it. Let's not just talk about it in the office. Let's bring it to the people. This is what the boss man, Steven Spectre, had to say. He's willing to go all in on wide receiver.
Going out and getting a bona fide number one wide receiver for a first-round draft pick is okay. It's okay to give up assets for known commodities. Think about who the Chiefs had options at number 31 or number 32 the last 2 years in the draft. You're telling me you'd rather have that lottery ticket than a known commodity and a number one wide receiver to pair with Patrick Mahomes? I think you're wrong. And I understand that both guys are in year 3 and you're going to have to pay them in the next 18 to 24 months. And maybe that's getting rid of Trey Smith or George Karlaftis. But you know what? I get a number one wide receiver with Patrick Mahomes, who's 24 years old. Sign me up every day of the week for a first and third round pick for not only Garrett Wilson, but Chris Olave. Either one works for me. I'm totally fine with taking a swing on either guy.
This is where I disagree with Spectre and why I am more on the trade, the mid-round pick for a Deontay Johnson type. I'd rather have George Karlaftis on my team than have Chris Olave. I'd rather have Trent McDuffie on my team than Chris Olave. So if you were telling me that those are the two paths, Now, I like Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson could be a really good receiver in a great situation. I don't think he has ever been in a great situation since he has been in the National Football League. So if you were telling me that this trade comes at the expense of us being able to, like the Chiefs as an organization, being able to keep George Karlaftis and Trent McDuffie, then I am not interested in signing that player to a deal. I also don't think that the Chiefs, if you look at the wide receiver contracts and where the position is going over the course of the last couple of years with the financial aspect of it, I don't think that this is a market that the Chiefs are ready to play in. I mean, they've had opportunities to play in this market. If the Chiefs really wanted to, over the course of the last couple of off seasons, go get a big-time, big-name wide receiver, there's been a bunch of them available over the course of the last couple of seasons. Right? There's been a bunch of them available. I just don't think the Chiefs, it is clear what the Chiefs will spend money on and what they won't spend money on, right? Like, I will never say the Chiefs are cheap. You can't really be cheap in the National Football League. There's a ceiling and a floor. But I think we all know somebody, they will not spend money on thing X, but they will spend money on thing Y. Sure, maybe they will not go out and buy all the designer clothes, but you know what? They will spend the money on a trip or an experience. The Chiefs spend money on offensive and defensive line. They do not spend big-time resources, at least not right now, on skill position players. They paid Travis Kelce, and that's kind of been it. They've had chances to pay wide receivers. They have not really paid wide receivers over the course of the last couple of years. They have gone relatively cheap at running back. There is not a team that is currently spending, I would say, less on running back than what the Chiefs are. Their starting running back was a 7th-round pick. They got a guy who was unemployed a month ago. They brought back Clyde Edwards-Helaire when not many other teams in the National Football League want him, and Carson Steele was undrafted. There's things they will spend money for. They'll give Chris Jones $116 million, but why do we think that they're going to go out and now give Chris Olave Calvin Ridley's contract? They had a chance to sign Calvin Ridley. He signed this past offseason. Any team in the league could have signed Calvin Ridley. He signed for 4 years, $92 million. I just don't think that's the market that the Chiefs want to play in at this present time. So I'm seeing the text line, hey, why don't the Chiefs go trade for Jalen Waddle? Because I don't think they're willing to give Jalen Waddle $28 million next year. It's not just the draft pick compensation. You also have to assume the contract of that player. Jalen Waddle just signed that contract 4 or 5 months ago. If the Chiefs wanted to go get Jalen Waddle, why didn't they go get Calvin Ridley when they could have signed Calvin Ridley, who got the almost exact same contract, and they didn't have to put any draft pick compensation by it? So my stance on this more is not my, hey, what's the best case scenario, pie in the sky. I'm trying to be realistic about what we know the Chiefs will and what they won't do. They're not trading for Tyreek Hill. They had a chance to re-sign Tyreek Hill, and they traded him for those draft picks. They're not now giving those picks back to Miami to now give Tyreek Hill the money that they didn't want to give to him a couple of years ago. Now he's older. They're not, no. You know what the Chiefs are going to do? They're going to spend a 5th through 3rd round pick for somebody. It's not going to light the world on fire, but they will trade for a good player that has a couple of red flags, a couple of question marks. Deontay Johnson is not the perfect prospect. This will be Deontay Johnson's 3rd team in 3.5 years. He is not perfect by any means, but I think he's a productive player that can help this team, that fills a role. And if you're looking for somebody to play Rice for the next 7-8 months, I think he can actually fill that role pretty well. I think he can have a really good rest of the season and earn himself a lot of money in the process, money that he is not earning himself playing with Bryce Young and or Andy Dalton.
I also think, and you can attest this, there's a lot of this on the text line. Guys, that's been their status quo forever. They're going to change when going for a three-peat. I do not believe Brett Veach, Andy Reid, Clark Hunt, and co. are changing their philosophy because of a three-peat.
Really quick. They were going for a three-peat in March, right?
And this was their same philosophy. You grabbed the car and you took me right down the road. This is their philosophy. This is what they do.
Like, you guys are saying they got to be all in for a three-peat, and I get it, right? Like, I'm 100% fine. You got to be all in on a three-peat. They were all in on a three-peat over the free agency period. All they signed was Hollywood Brown. That's all they got. All these wide receivers were available. That's all they could have got. So all of the same things. We all agreed. Be aggressive, go for it. You got a chance to make history. You got a chance to do all those things. They had a wide receiver need based on last season. They signed Hollywood Brown to a 1-year veteran deal, and they got Xavier Worthy, and they hope for the best. And now, I mean, you crapped out, unfortunately. You made a move. That move never happened because the guy got hurt so quickly. I'm not mad at the Chiefs for going out and getting Hollywood Brown. I think it was great value at the time, but now you kind of got to deviate from course. So that's why I'm happy with them trading a 3rd-round pick.
And I don't think the Chiefs are a panic move type of team. Don't get me wrong. Over at One Arrowhead Drive right now, I have no doubt that they are looking at their wide receiver room and saying, well, this isn't enough. Because it's not. I mean, anyone with eyes can tell you it's not enough. It's just a fact. But I don't think they're looking at their wide receiver room saying, this isn't enough. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, I got to panic. You make the airport analogy with headphones all the time, and it's so relevant here. The Chiefs are now at the airport, and they've lost their headphones or they've broken them. I don't think they are paying a premium for headphones just because they lost theirs. I think they're willing to take the flight without headphones before they're willing to spend $500 on headphones.
How long's the flight? That's always a valuable question here.
I mean,
where are we flying to? We flying to Hawaii with no headphones, or we flying to Denver with no headphones? If we flying to Denver with no headphones, I'm okay.
I mean, 8 games. I think they're flying from Kansas City to Miami with no headphones. There's a little length there, but it's not, oh, God.
If this plane got Wi-Fi on it? Because if the plane got Wi-Fi, we maybe can make it for the trip from Kansas City to Miami with no headphones. We maybe can make it. But if we flying to Hawaii with no headphones, come on, I gotta stop here over this little kiosk. Sure, I'm spending $40 on these Skull Candy headphones, but damn it, I gotta listen to this podcast. I can't just sit here this whole time and just be sitting here in silence. I can't watch a movie. I can't do anything over the course of this flight. I don't have any headphones. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get to the top stories of the day. Is Cooper Kupp a possibility for the Kansas City Chiefs? And we had a chance to catch up with Patrick Mahomes. We'll play that conversation for you next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
2-car crash downtown, northbound 71, right at 70. Also seeing heavy traffic eastbound 70 over the 435 exchange and northbound 71 into downtown. I'm Lori Pearson for 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by award-winning Johnny's Barbecue in Olathe.
Football and barbecue fans, score big with Johnny's Barbecue tailgate packages. Whether you're hosting a home gate or a tailgate, Johnny's Barbecue has you covered. Check out our tailgate packages at johnny'sbbqkc.com. Located in Olathe and serving all of KC. Johnny's Barbecue. Taste the smoke.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. It seems like everything we hear these days is about political races, and yet there's a far more important race that you run for yourself every day. It's the race to be the best that you can be. But if your libido is low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you've got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're losing that race, and maybe even that your best days are behind you. But the truth is that they're likely not, because if you're feeling like this, it's probable you're simply suffering from low testosterone, a condition that affects a huge percentage of men as we age. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. We've successfully treated thousands of men for the condition, and if you're like most guys, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. Better sleep patterns, higher energy, improved mental clarity, more productive workouts, and your libido will likely increase as well. So get back to winning your race by calling us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Tune in this week to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti, where they break down all the headlines in the NFL, presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on the iPhone 16 Pro.
When it comes to car buying, you deserve options. So at Volkswagen Lease Summit, we have 3 incredible promotions to pick from. Choose no payments for 90 days, 0% APR for up to 60 months, or we'll double your down up to $3,000. Pick out your car, then pick your promo at VWLeaseSummit.com.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
What's up, KC? It's Trent McDuffie. Catch the play-by-play all season long with Mitch, Danon, and Clean right here on your home of the Chiefs. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. There is so much to talk about. Coming up in a bit, we'll replay our conversation with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. We'll also talk about the start of the NBA season. LeBron is going to play with his son later today. You want to know how I know? Nike invited Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. to the game today, and they have already ran a Nike commercial. Trust me, Bronny is getting in the game today. Nike is not doing all of this on the whim of, well, we don't know if he's going to play or not. No, he's going to play later today. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. But let's get back to Chiefs wide receiver before we replay our conversation with the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. So the reason we are talking about this is the analogy I'll make. For those of you that used to play fighting video games, you know what I'm talking about. You would go to the arcade, and let's say that somebody was already playing the game, and they were playing against the computer, and you said, hey, I want to go against you. And they said, sure, pop your quarters in. Well, you would pop your quarters in the machine, you would hit the start button, the screen would kind of light up. A new challenger emerges. That's kind of what has been happening in regards to different names of people who are going to be thrown out there as possibility for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Adam Schefter, who is the best NFL reporter in the world, he was on Pat McAfee's show yesterday. Here is the names that he threw out there as wide receiver options.
I think that they're going to be checking around and asking about wide receivers. But here's the thing, like, we could bring up some of these other wide receivers, but they like to get people who know that system, generally speaking, who Mahomes is comfortable working with. And we're seeing Josh Allen getting to know Amari Cooper right now. We know Aaron knows Davante Adams. So everybody's different. I think in a perfect world, it's somebody like a DeMarcus Robinson that knows the system and knows the quarterback that would fit there that could provide some help. They still could use a little bit of help at the wide receiver position. It wouldn't be a surprise if they made a move. I don't know that it's going to be some big splashy move. They'll look into everything, of course, but I think it's more likely that it'll be a less heralded, more inexpensive, less draft capital player.
Now, you know what? That sounds like the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't mean that in a negative sense, but we all follow the Kansas City Chiefs. You see their moves. You see how the Chiefs operate. Whenever Rob hits the breaking news sounder and tells you that the Chiefs have made a trade for a wide receiver, are you expecting them to go get Garrett Wilson, or are you expecting them to go get Darius Slayton? You know the team that you cheer for. Are you expecting them to bring back Tyreek Hill, or are you expecting them to trade for DeMarcus Robinson? I think you know what option you are expecting. And that's what Adam Schefter is talking about. Well, today, Diana Rossini was asked a question. She went on Dan Le Batard's show, and Cooper Kupp is available. You guys remember Cooper Kupp a couple of years ago. He won Super Bowl MVP. In fact, he was the last person to win it, not named Patrick Mahomes. Here is what Diana Rossini said.
Cooper Kupp, Kansas City Chiefs. Is there a chance?
If the Rams are willing to take on the salary I heard that they're willing to do, so they are definitely open to trading Cooper Kupp. So we'll see if they'll be able to get a deal done. I just don't think Kansas City has even enough money, even if the Rams were to take on some of that salary. That's been the problem and the reason why they haven't been able to go after a Davante Adams, an Amari Cooper, like we've seen other teams be aggressive with.
All right. We're going to play our conversation with Patrick Mahomes here coming up in a bit. I like Cooper Kupp. In 2021, Cooper Kupp had one of the best seasons that a wide receiver has ever had. I believe that Cooper Kupp should have won NFL MVP this year, and you guys know I hate the fact that somewhere along the way they decided that only one position can win the award. No, sometimes the MVP is a running back, the way that I think it was Christian McCaffrey last year, but that's another point for another day. In 2021, Cooper Kupp was incredible. You probably won your fantasy league because of Cooper Kupp. He had 145 catches. He had 1,947 yards. He had 16 touchdowns. He won the Triple Crown. He was amazing in 2021. Since then, in 2022, he played in 9 games. He had 75 catches for 812 yards. In 2023, he only played in 12 games. He had 59 catches for 737 yards. He is currently injured for the Los Angeles Rams. He played in 2 games. He has 18 catches for 147 yards, and he has 1 touchdown. He had 16 touchdowns in 2021, and he has had 12 touchdowns since. You know the comparison I'll make for Cooper Kupp, and we all have this musician in mind or this director. Back in 2021, he put out a classic album. I'm talking about, it had all your favorite songs on there. It was great. Those last couple of albums he put out, you know what, man? It doesn't equal up to the work that he put in back in the day. You know what? Cooper Kupp is Drake. That old stuff was amazing. That new music, I don't know, man. It doesn't sound the same. I have no interest, none, in Cooper Kupp. He's 31 years old. We know the Chiefs. Do you think the Chiefs are trading for a 31-year-old wide receiver who, we had the stat earlier today, shout out to our guy Matt Verderam, since the Super Bowl, 40 games. There have been 40 possible games since the Super Bowl. You guys remember that Super Bowl. That was the last one your team wasn't in. Since the Super Bowl, the Rams have played in 40 games. He has played in 23 of those games and missed 17 of those. He is a part-time player asking for a full-time salary. Does that sound like a player that the Chiefs are interested in? I don't care what kind of discount that the Rams are possibly offering in this scenario. The answer is no. I don't have any interest in Cooper Kupp. I'd rather them get Tutu Atwell if they're going to trade. At the price that they want for Cooper Kupp, I never thought I would say this. I'd rather them trade a 6th or a 7th round pick and bring back Demarcus Robinson and still keep looking for wide receiver help. There is no scenario that I would give the Rams a 2nd round pick for Cooper Kupp. I don't care if they ate 80% of his contract. The answer is no. He's one of the 15 highest paid wide receivers in the National Football League, and he has missed 45% of their games over the course of the last couple of seasons. The answer is no. There's no scenario in which I would want him back on the team.
I mean, it would be wildly out of character for the Chiefs. Like, that stat by Matt Verderam furthers what we've been saying on this show. Brett Veach doesn't like you if you have a 3 in front of your age. I'm sorry. Unless you're Patrick Mahomes, maybe the greatest quarterback of all time, Travis Kelce, maybe the greatest tight end of all time, or Chris Jones, probably the 2nd best defensive lineman in the history of the organization. Unless you're one of those 3 guys, if you got a 3 next to your name, pass. And that's before we even delve real deep into the fact that a 2nd round pick for that man, a 2nd round pick, is nonsensical. I mean, Amari Cooper is a better wideout. He went for a 3rd. Devontae Adams is a better wideout. I mean, what? Cooper Kupp for a 2nd. That must be the Rams putting the price so high they feel like, hey, if we get it, party on Wayne, but we ain't getting it.
Yeah, it just that's not a realistic number to me if you were trying to trade Cooper Kupp. It's not a realistic number at all. Take this phone call. This guy wants us to take his call. Can you take this call? I would like to talk. He's sent a bunch of texts in. He wants them to trade for Cooper Kupp. I would love to hear what this gentleman has to say. There's no scenario in which I want Cooper Kupp. None. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, I respect your opinion. I just disagree. We're not rebuilding. I'll take a top 3 receiver on my team. Cooper Kupp is not a top 3 receiver in 2024. You're telling me right now you think Cooper Kupp's better than Justin Jefferson? You're telling me right now you think Cooper Kupp's better than Tyreek Hill? He's better than CeeDee Lamb? No, absolutely not. This is, again, I understand it. He was good 3-4 years ago, and we still think he's that guy. That's not the way that time works. Time has passed. Time has elapsed. In no world is Cooper Kupp. He's not even the best receiver on his team anymore. No, thank you. Let's go to the phone line. Smitty, how you doing, man?
Doing real good, man. Thank y'all for taking my call.
No problem.
Appreciate a long-time listener. I'll be blowing y'all's text line up because you guys are dead wrong on this subject, in my opinion. We have got to get a number 1 receiver for Patrick Mahomes that can stick around. If it takes a 1st round pick, then we got to make the trade happen because for the last 3 years, we've been struggling at receiver ever since we got rid of Tyreek Hill. We've had nothing but Band-Aid receivers that haven't even gotten the 700 yards that you're talking about with Cooper Kupp. And correct me if I'm wrong, C-Dot, Rob, haven't the Chiefs already traded 4 of their last probably 8 first-round picks since 2016 anyway? So doesn't it make sense to go out here and get a mainstay guy? Not to mention, before I let you guys go, we don't have anyone but Xavier Worthy for next year's roster. Current conditions today, going into next season, we have 1 receiver because Rice will be suspended. I'll listen off the air. Love what you guys do. Keep it going.
No problem. And I appreciate the phone call. I would like to point out, if you're going back all the way to 2016, I mean, one of those draft picks they traded for Patrick Mahomes. The other draft pick they traded for Frank Clark. I mean, in the last 5 years, they traded 1 first-round pick. They got a 2nd-round pick in return for Orlando Brown. So they have not been nearly as aggressive with first-round picks recently, and they usually make those moves. Now, if you guys were telling me that they were going to trade their first-round pick in April for one of these players, I would have a very different stance on that. Hey, you evaluated the draft, you were at the combine, you have scouted, you've evaluated, you don't like any of these wide receivers, so now you're going to make a trade to go sign one of those guys? That would make sense to me. I might have a different opinion about it. Anybody that you would want to make that trade for, they had all the opportunity to get that player a couple months ago. I don't think the Chiefs need to be in a position of panic. And to me, trading a first-round pick right now for a wide receiver is coming from a place of panic that I don't think the Chiefs need to come from. You can go get Deontay Johnson, and they're fine. Right now, if the Chiefs traded for Deontay Johnson and let's say, knock on wood, you get Hollywood Brown back week 15 of the NFL season, they're fine at wide receiver. They have enough to get to where they want to go. I just don't think you need to be desperate for wide receiver. I'm not desperate for wide receiver, and I have been the one who's been, for the last 3 years, there has not been a single person who has been more vocal about them adding skill position players than me. I'm the only one that wants to tell you about Travis Kelce. You know I want them to go get more options. I've been the only one on this bandwagon for the last 2 years. You guys have called me crazy how the Chiefs should prepare for the end of Travis Kelce and that he's not the same guy anymore. I'm firmly on team get young skill position players. So you don't got to preach to the choir to me about doing that. I'm just telling you there is a difference between what we think the Chiefs should do and what we know they are going to do. And I know what they are going to do. Some of you have been married for a long time. You know your wife like the back of your hand. You know how she is going to react in every single situation. I'm telling you, you know the exact same about the Chiefs. We have enough evidence of Brett Veach that I can tell you exactly what they are going to do here over the next 2 weeks. They are not going to surprise you in the least bit. They are not taking a massive swing at wide receiver. They're going to take a medium swing at wide receiver, and knowing them, it will probably connect. We'll get back to this here coming up in a bit, but I do want to play our conversation with the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. All right, our conversation with the quarterback starts with, you guys might remember there was a video that surfaced over training camp where I don't even know if the dude is still on the team anymore. He had some Patrick Mahomes doll, and he was mocking Mahomes' voice. It was real foolishness for a team that missed the postseason last year, and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in your home stadium. Embarrassing organization. I asked Patrick Mahomes, when was the first time he saw that video?
I think I just saw it after I finished practice or something in training camp. It was one of those training camp long days, and it came across my timeline on Twitter. But that was the first time I saw it.
I'm going to guess that you get a lot of texts on a day-to-day basis. Is this one of the days where you just got the highest volume of number of texts of people sending this to you?
Not necessarily, honestly. Not a lot of people send it to me. I think everybody knows how I am, and they didn't want to bring that to my attention. They wanted me to focus on what I needed to focus on that day.
What do you do with this information? Are you just keeping this in the back of your mind for when you play this team again? Is it just water that rolls off your back? Like, what do you do when there is this level of disrespect from a team that you eventually have to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, like, if you're not excited to play this game this week, especially how they beat us last time, then you're not in the right sport. So it's not like it takes it over the top or does anything like that. I think I'm just focused on playing a team that really got after us the last time we played them.
How crazy is it that was your last loss and that was on Christmas, and we are coming up on Halloween and you guys have not lost a game since?
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to the guys on our team. I mean, obviously that was a tough day on Christmas, but guys bounced back. We were able to go on a run and win the Super Bowl, and the guys have carried that momentum into this season.
What do you think clicked for this team at that point? I mean, you guys were 500 the last 8 weeks of the season, and something changed within your team that has obviously led you to have the current longest winning streak in the National Football League. Did you notice a change, a difference with your team after that loss?
I think it's just more than anything. I think guys just knew that our backs were up against the wall, and we had to win at that point of last year. And so guys stepped up and played well, and especially on our defense, they took it up to even another notch than they were already playing. And I think that it showed that guys that we were just going to find ways to get wins, and we carried that into this year, where it's not always been pretty as the games could be, but we're finding ways to win every single football game, and I think that's important as you go along a long season.
Right now, we're talking to the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick, what does it say about your team that you are winning in the face of all of these injuries? I don't need to tell you, but you guys don't have Isaiah Pacheco. You don't have Rashee Rice. You don't have Hollywood Brown. Juju goes out with an injury. Jalen Watson's a key piece of your defense, and you guys still are the lone undefeated team in the league.
Yeah, it just speaks to the way the guys compete. I mean, obviously, that's losing a lot of guys that are impact players on our team, but the guys that are behind them are preparing themselves and being ready to go when their numbers are called. And the hope is that we continue to get a little bit more healthy. But as we've dealt with these injuries, it's gotten a lot of experience for younger guys, and they've stepped up whenever their numbers is called and made plays.
In that same vein, what does it say about your team that you guys have gone against the Brock Purdy version of the San Francisco 49ers 3 separate times, and they've been 3 different games. You guys won 44-23 there a couple of years ago. Obviously, you guys put those 2 drives together to win in the Super Bowl, and the win that you guys had on Sunday. You guys have shown a versatility against San Francisco that if it has to be a ground and pound game where you guys run it 40 times, you can, or if you guys need to score almost 50, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to the team. I mean, it speaks to the coaches, Coach Reed, and doing whatever it takes to win. I think in order to be a championship caliber team, you have to play different types of football games, and you have to win different ways based on that week's matchup. And this last week, it was about controlling the ball, letting our defense go work, and then trying to execute in the red zone. We were able to do that.
Right now, we're talking to Patrick Mahomes here for a couple more minutes. Patrick, I'll start broad and we'll narrow it in. Take us through your touchdown run, because it kind of felt like you called your own number, or it was a designed kind of quarterback draw play.
Not necessarily a quarterback draw. They gave us the man coverage. The plan was to get the ball to Trav, and then with Xavier coming across the field. And obviously, Trav was getting held pretty tough there. And when I motioned the guy out, I saw the middle of the field was kind of open. So I knew if the guys weren't there, I could make a quick decision if it opened up to run in the end zone. And obviously, with Trav getting held and it opened it up, I just made the decision to get in the end zone, and I was able to do that.
I don't know if you've seen the meme or not. I don't know if it's a meme or per se, but it's like you with your shirt off and then the guy that tried to tackle you with his shirt off. The internet gives you a lot of grief about the dad bod, but all of that weight came in handy for that moment.
Yeah, no doubt, because, I mean, I wasn't necessarily trying to run over the guy. I was just trying to get in the end zone, and he was coming up fast, and I'd seen how he hit some other guys early in the game. So I was more bracing to take the hit as I got in the end zone, but the dad bod helped me out there. Like I said after the game, I have a little weight. And I was able to hold my ground and get in the end zone.
Today is the start of the NBA season. I don't know if you've ever dunked on somebody before. I'm just guessing that you have. I'm guessing like that's the closest NFL feeling that you will ever have to like dunking on somebody.
Yeah, I've dunked on someone one time and I got called for a charge. So it definitely was a cool feeling. I think more than anything, it's just 4th and goal, big moment in the game. I mean, it's still a 2-point game at that moment, and they were able to get that touchdown and then get the momentum back in our favor. So it was definitely a big moment that we've seen that we've made those plays as this year's went on, and we're going to try to continue to do that.
Patrick, you got to tell us a story about you dunked on somebody. I'm guessing this was in high school at some point.
Yeah, no, I was a senior in high school, and I caught a fast break, and I lifted up, and I remember lifting up thinking I was going to get fouled, and the guy went for a charge instead of for a block, and it kind of boosted me up a little bit. I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere, and I was able to get the dunk, but they did call a charge, even though I think the guy was still moving.
All right, I got to find this video. I've never seen this before. We're talking to Patrick Mahomes for a couple of minutes. I do want to get your opinion on this because we talk about, some of the cool things that you've been able to do in your career. How is it going from a kid who watched Tom Brady play in Super Bowls to you have played in a Super Bowl against Tom Brady, and now you were sitting across from him being interviewed and you guys are having a conversation about your life and career?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's extremely cool. I mean, like you said, I watched him growing up and him winning tons of Super Bowls and winning MVPs and all these different things, and then playing against him and having a ton of respect for him. And then as the end of his career kind of came to, and to this next stage of his career, we kind of stayed in touch and talked, and it was really cool to sit down and do an interview because even when we talk and I listen to him talk about things, and I mean, not all of it's in the interview. He says stuff that I can't really talk to other people about, and I can tell he understands exactly where I'm coming from and some little things and nuances of the quarterback position. And there's only a couple guys on that walk around on this earth that understand some of the things that he's talking about and that I try to explain to people, and it's good to kind of get that insight from guys like that.
I was just going to ask you that because obviously there's competition there. You guys have competed against one another, but what is it like to have someone like that who has that level of admiration for you as well?
Yeah, I think it speaks to the way I play the game of football. It's not about the stats, not about the accolades. It's about going out there and winning, and that's how he played. I mean, obviously he's got every stat, and he's got every MVP and all that different type of stuff. But for him, at the end of the day, it was about how he could get his team in position to win. And so I think there's mutual respect. Obviously, there's respect for me there, but I think he has respect for me just because I play that game that way. And like you said, it's always competition, and it's something that I can chase in my career, but I have a ton of respect regardless. because the way he played the game every single day and the way he was the teammate that he was and the player that he was.
There's a couple of players on your offense I want to ask you about. Let's start with McCole Hardman. What is it about San Francisco that turns McCole Hardman into some super Saiyan individual? I mean, the last 3 times that you guys have played San Francisco, he had 2 touchdowns a couple of years ago. He catches the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, and he had a big punt return and a touchdown in this one. He always plays well against them.
Yeah, I mean, he just steps up, man. It's about playing the best, and whenever you play the best, guys have to step up and play their best, and McCole's done that in all those matchups, and he's executing whenever his number's called. He's finding ways to get down the field on jet sweeps, or he's blocking, or doing whatever it takes to win, and that's what you want in guys that are winners. And so whenever we play the best competition, it seems like he plays his best football, and that's what you want out of guys.
You and I talked about this whenever Kareem first got here. I looked this stat up yesterday. He has touched the ball on a third of you guys' offensive possessions since he's gotten here. He has turned into a really critical and vital part of what you were doing offensively. You were really confident in the move and really confident in his production. What is it like to see his hard work paying off and him having so much success?
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun to see because you see the work that he's putting in throughout the week to prepare himself to be ready to go out there and carry the football that many times and catch the ball and everything like that. And so it's fun to watch. I mean, he really is putting the work in, and it's like everything else, man. It's fun to watch whenever guys come in, their number gets called, and they put in the hard work, and then they go out there and execute and have success. And so it's something that we'll continue to build on as we start getting guys back. Maybe we can take some of the carries off of him, so he's not getting 20 to 30 carries a week. But whatever it takes to win, he's willing to do it.
Patrick, last thing here. I'm sure you have heard all the kind of swirlings around. Chiefs are linked to this receiver. Chiefs are linked to this receiver. What kind of input do you have in moves that could potentially happen over the next couple of weeks? What communication do you have with the front office about something that could happen?
Yeah, I mean, they keep me in the loop on stuff that they're looking at, but I don't have a ton of input, man. I know that regardless, they're going to put guys on the field that can win football games, and that's what we have right now. And if they want to add guys, they can add guys. But at the end of the day, I believe in the guys that we have in the building, and I think that we can win a lot of football games with them.
That is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, joining us on the show today as they get ready to travel to the site of where they won their last Super Bowl in Las Vegas. Patrick, great talking to you today, my man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Absolutely. That is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. He joins us every Tuesday to recap the game and look ahead to the next week's action. Coming up on the other side, I want to play for you guys what Matt Verderame had to say. We asked him all of our wide receiver questions. We'll let you know what he said. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Gomer's. 5 locations in the KC Metro or online at gomers.com.
Stock up for your tailgate or Halloween party with Gomer's. 5 great locations in the Kansas City Metro. Voted KC's #1 liquor store in Kansas City again for 2024. Excellent in price, selection, and service. 5 locations in the KC Metro and online at gomers.com.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold, and for those of you who've been listening to the show for a while, you know all about our friends over at Centric and how you can find a brand new career in as little as 4 months. But did you also know that you can work with your current schedule with some of their flex options for learning online or in person?
Maybe you're just getting out of high school and want to start that career now and that career path now, or you're looking for that change with better advancement, better pay. Centric can do those things for you.
They have plenty of funding options like the GI Bill. You just got to go talk to our friend Russ at Centric.com. That's CENTRIQ.com.
Pizza Taccio, the king of Kansas City's New York-style pizza scene, has taken KC by storm. Pizza Taccio uses the highest quality local and organic ingredients, hand-tossed by KC natives. Oh, and did I mention they were voted KC's favorite pizza? Place your order now for pickup or delivery at pizzataccio.com, or stop in for a slice at any of their locations in OP, Midtown, North KC, St. Joe, Waldo, or Belton, and dive into the taste that's conquering Kansas City. One slice at a time.
Neighbors getting new roofs due to hail damage this year? Then you're a likely candidate for a new roof, too. Century Roofing, voted best roofing company in Johnson County 3 years straight, is giving back this holiday season. For all roof repair and replacement contracts signed before the end of the year, Century Roofing will donate a portion of proceeds to benefit Operation Breakthrough, which helps KC kids in need. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com for an inspection today. That's CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing.
Trust the pillars of strength.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
You've been waiting, and now is the time. Golden Oak Lending has fixed mortgage rates at 4.875%. But don't wait, this rate won't last forever. Call today and take advantage of our low 4.875 fixed rate. Call 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.784 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
The NBA is back, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all the action. Right now, FanDuel is giving all users 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beater is place any $5 bet on the NBA. And who isn't excited to watch the Lakers this year with LeBron and Bronny playing together? If you're new to FanDuel, just visit FanDuel.com/610Bob to get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA and of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. After 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Join 96.5 The Fan and Bud Light for the Fans Football Show with Mitchell Schwartz or Sean Barber and Jay Binkley every Friday this football season starting at 6 at participating Buffalo Wild Wings locations. Enjoy $5 talls, prizes, and Chiefs gear. For a list of locations, go to 965thefan.com. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic's brought to you by Park and Go, your top choice for all covered airport parking. 2-car crash, eastbound 435, right at Antioch. This is closing 2 left lanes. And a multi-car crash westbound 70 just past 470, closing the right lane. A multi-car crash downtown, westbound 71 at 70. That is on the right shoulder, but traffic heavy through the southern lanes of the downtown loop. Tackle your airport parking needs at Park and Go. Always the best service, always the best price. Open 24/7, fast and free shuttle services, and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated. I'm Lori Pearson for 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's George Karlaftis. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to play a couple of cuts for you guys from Matt Verderam of Sports Illustrated. The first cut I want to play for you guys is he was talking about the Chiefs, and they have certainly been linked to Demarcus Robinson. There's really only one reason why they've been linked to Demarcus Robinson. I think you guys know what that is. Here's what Matt said regarding that.
So I think if you're the Chiefs, does it have to be DeAndre Hopkins? No. But I think Deontay Johnson makes sense. I think Darius Slayton makes sense. I will say this. It doesn't have to be a superstar addition. Doesn't have to be Cooper Kupp, which has been talked about, of course, today. It cannot be Demarcus Robinson. And I don't mean that as a slam on Robinson. I just mean it can't be somebody of Robinson's caliber where you add the guy and just go, okay, we're done now. That doesn't move the needle an ounce. Like, they need to actually go out and acquire somebody who can be at least a second option in the offense.
So that was Matt Verderam earlier today. I'm inclined to agree. I don't have any problems with them adding Demarcus Robinson. If that is a move that they want to go out there and make, it makes a lot of sense to me. To me, Demarcus Robinson needs to be you picked up Robinson and. If that's the plan for the Kansas City Chiefs, sign me up. If their plan is Demarcus Robinson plus they go make a trade for a Darius Slayton, great. That's phenomenal. I'd rather do that than trade a first-round pick for Chris Olave. If you're giving me those two options, hey, the Chiefs are going to get better at wide receiver, but they're not going to take a swing, but they're going to take two cost-effective moves and not give up a lot of assets to go do it, or they're going to trade their first-round pick, be reactionary to everything that's happening, and lock themselves into a future 4-year, $120 million contract. I take Demarcus Robinson and Darius Slayton if presented those two options. I want to play one more cut for you guys from Matt Verderam. He, like me, doesn't really think that Cooper Kupp makes a lot of sense for the Chiefs.
Since the start of 2022, Cooper Kupp has played in 23 games. He has missed 17 other games. So you're not trading for a guy who's reliable. You're not trading for a guy who's young. And you can't, because of those things, give up anything more than a fourth-round pick. There's no way I would give them a day 2 pick. I wouldn't give them a third-round pick. I mean, unless they're literally willing to eat his entire contract. And it's just, hey, you're getting him for the minimum. Okay, maybe I'd give him, the Chiefs' third-rounder. But if the Chiefs have to pay any kind of real money, yeah, I'm giving them a fourth-round pick. And I don't even know if I do that. Like, my question is, they did the trade for Kupp. Then why didn't you just trade for Amari Cooper?
It's kind of what I think. Could have got Amari Cooper, less assets, more productive player, significantly cheaper. It just would be very confusing. The Chiefs haven't made many confusing moves to me in the last 18 to 24 months. Now, they've made moves I don't necessarily agree with or done something that I wouldn't have done, but all the pieces fit together. If they traded for Cooper Kupp right now, it would go against everything that they have done over the course of the last 4 years, and that's just not really how they operate. I'm just not really looking at him as being a very realistic option. All right, last cut I want to play for you guys in this segment. I'm a little bit peeved. I'm a little bit ticked off today. So I wake up, I listen to a couple podcasts. I check out my brother Danny Parkins on Breakfast Ball. I watch a little Get Up. I like to, I'm a fan of sports just like you guys are. So as I'm watching Get Up earlier today, I hear Mike Greenberg on there talking some downright nonsense earlier today. And I can't let this nonsense go unattended and unchecked. Listen to Mike Greenberg earlier today. You've heard this story before. Bills, Ravens, some other contender plays well on a nationally televised game, and now everybody in the national media is going goo goo gaga over a great performance in October from Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you guys. All that making fun of me you did when I said he's the MVP of the league, and oh no, everyone yelled at me. He's not even the MVP on his own team. Derrick Henry is the difference. You watch that team with him, they are markedly different. Lamar is brilliant. He's been brilliant a long time. This team is markedly different because of that
You remember? Hold on. You remember?
So Lamar's not the MVP of his team just because he's been good for a long time? He threw 5 touchdown passes.
Henry
I want to focus on.
In the same way that Randy Moss was the difference when he came to New England. Tom Brady was already a great quarterback.
Yeah.
But that elevated everything, basically to the point of being unstoppable.
Yes.
And that's what this guy has done. If this guy is healthy, nobody beats the Ravens.
I wish you guys could see my face right now. I'm annoyed. I'm ticked off. I'm chapped. I'm peeved. Didn't the Ravens lose to the Raiders this season? This man, Mike Greenberg, is talking like the Ravens have just run through the league in their first 6 games. They started out the year 0-2. One of those losses was to the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. Sometimes, and I don't mean this as a knock towards anybody, it honestly is how I feel sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that has internet access. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that watches these games. I saw the game. I watched it. Some of you went to the game. Derrick Henry was fully healthy. They lost. We're going to start a new rule on this show. Maybe it's been an old rule, but now I want to implement a new rule. Don't talk to me about Buffalo when it's still green outside. Don't talk to me about Baltimore when there's leaves on the trees. If there are not Christmas lights up, don't talk to me about any of those teams. I don't want to hear about how well Josh Allen is playing. I don't want to hear about Lamar Jackson if you don't have your Christmas tree up. When your Christmas tree is up, then we can start talking about those two individuals. And I like Josh Allen. I'm the same one that last week that told you guys that right now Josh Allen's playing better than any quarterback in the league. But what does it matter? What's that saying? It's not how you start, it's about how you finish. And I've seen the finishing work from Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, and it's left a lot to be desired. So you can't get on your ESPN platform or your Fox Sports platform or whatever platform that you have, and you can't say nah. When Derrick Henry is healthy, the Ravens are the best team in the league. They have 2 losses. What are we talking about here? Stop. If it's green outside, I don't want to hear about them. Don't tell me how well they're doing. I don't care how they look in the MVP. Sure, if you want to give Lamar another MVP, great. He was phenomenal yesterday. He is amazing. Josh Allen is amazing. They really are. They're 2 great quarterbacks. You got to do it in January to convince me. We've been at this place before with both of those individuals. Josh Allen put up great numbers. Lamar's put up great numbers. And then once it gets cold outside, once you can see your breath, they're not the same individuals. So don't talk to me about either one of those teams. That's the new rule on this show. Coming up, the NBA is back tonight. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hi. This weekly football recap is brought to you by MD Anderson Cancer Center.
There were a lot of big wins in football this week, but none bigger than Detroit's victory over Dallas with a final score of 47-9. Also this week, it was Pittsburgh over Las Vegas 32-13. Cincinnati held on to a 17-7 win over New York, and Green Bay took down Arizona with a 34-13 victory.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is doing whatever it takes in the pursuit of making cancer history. Learn more at findyourmdanderson.com.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-554-6899. That's 800-554-6899. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-554-6899 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever offers fast, effective cold and fever relief for kids ages 6 and up with a delicious grape flavor that kids love. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever will help them feel better fast so they can get back to the fun stuff quickly. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Dury Vision. Schedule your free consultation today. DuryVision.com.
Make the best decision ever like I did. That was calling up Dury Vision for a free consultation to find out how I can see better, and in my case, how I could get rid of my contacts and glasses. Give them a call, 913-491-3330, or go online to DuryVision.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic's brought to you by Park & Go, your top choice for all covered airport parking. 2-car crash, Eastbound 435, right at Antioch. This is closing 2 left lanes. And a multi-car crash westbound 70 just past 470, closing the right lane. A multi-car crash downtown westbound 71 at 70. That is on the right shoulder, but traffic heavy through the southern lanes of the downtown loop. Tackle your airport parking needs at Park and Go. Always the best service, always the best price. Open 24/7, fast and free shuttle services, and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at
Welcome to your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
96.5 The Fan traffic.
I feel like that's the equivalent of when you talk too long at the Grammys and they start playing music to get you to stop talking. I've never seen that before. Why did you just start playing the music?
I didn't play it. It's usually supposed to just fade out, but she talked for 40 seconds.
She was still trying to. There's people need traffic updates. I don't know why that was so funny to me. It just started playing randomly. All right, let me regroup. Let me focus. All right. So tonight is the start of the NBA season. I know that this only applies to about 4 of you because me, Rob, and only 2 of you like the NBA. I know you guys rather watch Steelers and Giants on Sunday Night Football than watch 2 good NBA teams. You know what? I'm done fighting the good fight. This is as deep and as talented of a league that the NBA has had in quite some time. I encourage you to watch it. I get it that some of you will not watch it. And you know what? I just got to live with that. I got to give it. You guys much rather watch Notre Dame and Wisconsin play and have a 49-47 game in which they dive on the floor for loose balls. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I can only try to pass the information to you. Rob, it is kind of, I don't know the right word, disappointing, sad. I don't know the right word. But today, one of the coolest things in the NBA is going to happen. And I don't know, man, it doesn't feel organic. It feels like we are a part of a Nike commercial. So I don't know if you guys saw it or not. LeBron, his favorite cereal is Fruity Pebbles. Don't ask me how I know that. But Nike today shot a little commercial, promo for tonight's game. LeBron poured a bunch of Fruity Pebbles in his son's car on his way to work. He played a prank on the rookie. Phil Knight has seats at the Lakers game. He is giving those seats up to Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr., obviously 2 great players. They were a father-son who played together. Brian Windhorst is even telling you when Bronny is going to check in the game later today. All of this just feels very manufactured in a way that, I don't know, man, it's hard for me to fully get behind. And I say this as someone, LeBron's my favorite player in the league. I love LeBron. I don't know, man. This moment, it just doesn't feel to me the way that it was supposed to. It feels cheapened in a way because I don't think Bronny's game earned it, you know? And maybe I'm overreacting to it. This isn't how you're supposed to have these kind of moments, you know? Griffey got to play with his dad because Griffey was a phenom, you know? This wasn't orchestrated by a billion-dollar shoe company. All of it just feels... It feels like we're a part of a made-for-TV movie. And that part about it, I just don't really like.
Probably makes it worse that when you delve into it last offseason, LeBron opted out. How do you think they convinced him to come back? I mean, other than the fat contract he got. But you're telling me that the Lakers at no point just broke down and gave him what he wanted because he got his son and his podcast buddy to be the coach? It feels like... Maybe because it's nepotism, this feels worse than LeBron getting what he wants usually. It feels grosser.
Text line 913-586-7965. LeBron James and his son are reason 465 that I don't watch the NBA. Back in the day, I loved it. It's not the same game. It's terrible. You know what? At this point, I can't fight the good fight anymore. I just know that you guys, you don't like the NBA for whatever reason, and the NBA and the NFL do basically the same things, and the NFL gets no criticism for it, and the NBA gets all the criticism for it. I saw Davante Adams miss 3 games with the Las Vegas Raiders with a hamstring injury, was nonstop on Instagram about it, then came back and was perfectly fine and healthy, and we just all moved forward. I just, at this point, I can't fight it anymore. You guys just hate the NBA for whatever reason, and that's fine. This year, I'm done fighting it. This is the first year, Rob, I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to do it. Last night, the NFL put the Cardinals and the Chargers on ESPN Plus and made it exclusive. The NFL can do whatever. They really can. They can do whatever they want. Treat us any kind of way. We'll make all the excuses in the world for them. The NBA, they don't get it. It just, okay, I understand. I'm excited for the NBA back today. And you know what? We'll get a chance to watch Nathaniel Hackett, who I'm sure earned his way into the NFL the old-fashioned way by working hard and just doing the best that he could. All right, Rob, back again tomorrow. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a